Grotus laid on the ground for like 2 hours. That's what I remember.
Me too.
Okay. I'm sorry. Your character was MVP that session, so.
I mean, you weren't such either.
No, I was being serious. His character fucking saved it. If we had not had that lizard, it'd been fucking done. We'd have died.
Yeah.
But after stumbling through the woods for quite some time and debating back and forth about the plan this group wanted to take, we took to this village. Grotus in the front and Gallo and myself near the back, while the others waited with anticipation for it to possibly hit the fan. Fans aren't a thing. Possibly hit. Possibly go legs up. But Gallo and myself stalked the back tents as Grotus made quick friends with the what was her name? Sickle? No, that's the barbarian. Made quick friends with the goblin tribe leader, and quite masterfully, I might add, was able to release, from what I found out, one of their allies, and hopefully a new lead to this halfling they've been searching for. Things went more poorly on our end when Gallo lifted up the flaps to the wrong tent, came face to face with a warg. At least that's what I believe they called them. It wasn't soon after that before battle ensued. We, as a collective, managed to get our asses handed to us, and thanks to Grotus's quick work in convincing Sickle to fight for us, we managed to come out on top. Unfortunately for us, the leader of this village and our best possible lead have escaped. But the armor-clad Julius managed to track down one goblin, and here we are. I think that was it, right? Was that everything?
That was a general of it all. You can have an inspiration point. You are free to reroll any d20 you see fit.
Woo!
Whoop whoop. Boy.
Oh, it's a little dragon!
It
Oh!
it is, in fact.
I've
was
never
so
clicked
pure.
that before.
Wonderful.
What's a little dragon?
The inspiration mark
point.
on your sheet.
Is it? Oh.
So, now, no traces of the goblin raid boss, but the slight path in which she had taken. Corpses of those that followed her strewn about. One now, while attempting to struggle against Julius, with Julius's current abilities manifest, the goblin does not have much of a chance. Julius, it's a bit of a struggle. The goblin does not stop putting up a fight for even a moment as you drag him closer and closer to the rest of the party. But overall, you do manage to bring him back. Now, you all sit, this passing by its midday peak. Quiet all around you. Nothing disturbing the woods, the sound of the river running to your north. What would you all like to do?
Well, first, Grotus would like to pick all the giant warg teeth out of his arm. After getting ripped to
Surprisingly
shreds.
enough, it seems the wargs often their gums are quite strong. There's only a single tooth that remains in your leg.
So, after I shrink down to normal size, Grotus takes the tooth and just kind of rips it out. Ooh,
Kessex will approach Grotus as he's talking about this, and I want to take a moment and let you know how impressive you were in that fight. I know it didn't feel like you did much. She seemed to have you on the ropes with that paralysis, but I've learned to admire somebody who can take a beating.
Thanks for that. It was something at least. I'd like to say as he flicks the tooth, and looks at the tooth in his hand, he just kind of flicks it over his shoulder and just turns to Gallo and goes, good work out there, Gallo. May I make just a wee bit of a suggestion for the next time, though?
I'm always open to critiques in my technique.
Oh, yeah, don't get me wrong, Kessex. You did great out there. The pair of you did really good, but, Gallo, next time you see a caster in the party, could you do me perhaps a wee bit of a favour?
You say Gallo or me?
Gallo.
Gallo.
Oh, okay.
Hey, he's leaning up on a tent a bit tired, and he stares at him, waiting.
Could you perhaps just focus the caster? And he says he pulls an arrow out of his other arm. He was just wrecked by attacks.
He gives a nod. Yeah, I lost her. Won't fail that again.
Fair enough.
Xavier kind of walks up to everybody, just kind of doubled over and winded, and he's just, yeah, that was a really good effort, everyone. Whew. Man.
Does anyone happen to have some rope on them?
Oh, yeah, give me a sec there, and I'll walk over and just take my rope out and tie up the little fucking goblin.
Sure, at this point of being dragged to what is a number of heavily armed individuals, even wounded as you are, it seems to kind of be attempting to kind of plot out rather than simply struggle, and doesn't put up much resistance as you're tying knots. For the sake of it, just roll a sleight of hand.
Oh, goody. This shouldn't be me.
Maybe someone help
You want me?
Yeah, somebody can help,
May I help
or
you
somebody
with
else can
that?
take the roll.
I can help him out.
I
Or-
think
or
Gallo. I
Winston.
think everybody knows Gallo's probably the best with their hands for tying people
Probably.
up. That was
Winks.
established.
Gal, if you'd like to make a sleight of hand check.
Well,
Can
look
I
over.
assist?
Sure.
Yeah,
it's not a
can
big deal.
Winston assist? Cool. So, advantage.
Wait, who's helping? Because I think you do the proficiency helping, right?
Nah, it depends on the check. Stuff like
I
this is
do.
fine.
I'm also proficient with sleight of hand.
Oh, cool. Okay, then never mind.
How proficient are you? Just curious.
Just regular proficiency.
We're
But
level
Mario-
4, so 2 proficient.
Just roll it, Zaku. We trust you.
Beep, beep, beep. Oh, wait, give me 1 second. Level 4. Just in case that affects anything. Nope, it doesn't. Alright.
23. You take your time. He's small of frame, and you have to account for that. But binding him both at the wrists and forearms, as well as the legs, you get a sense that you'd even have a difficult time getting out of a triple bond like this. You don't imagine he's going anywhere. At this point, he's kind of just gone quiet, kind of keeping eyes on you all. Not fighting for fear of his life, but clearly not enjoying the situation.
May I say for Flair that not only are these knots pretty secure, they also very suspiciously look like bondage.
No one knows what that looks like.
It's just pretty
In this
ropes,
party.
that's all we need to know.
So just tie people's hands from now on, considering he
Fucking
actually
hog
has
tie.
proficiency with sleight of hand. So we'll just look at Gal. Alright, good work. And I look at the goblins like, you speak common or human? Oh,
Call high or low.
I'll say low.
That is a 10. I'll give it to you. Doesn't say anything.
And I'll just hold my gauntlet up to him and just be like, speak human or common?
Kind of waits for a moment.
Yeah, you were-
Speaks human.
Alright, now we're getting somewhere. Alright. Is that
Sicko just kind of looms behind the party at this point.
Alright. As I see it, you ain't got much of a choice but to tell us what we want to know, or else we're gonna let the big one over here have their way with you. I gestured to Sickle.
Kind of gives her a side eye. Kind of his eyes turn back to you. a clear disdain for it, disdain for you, but doesn't voice it.
Alright, what do we want to ask him? Mostly, do you know where this halfling man happens to be?
The goblin kind of looks to you. Seen halflings, yes. Killed halflings. Haven't killed any recently.
The halfling that was with this one. Where is he?
And it looks to Sickle. I didn't help with her.
Not to, get the interrogation off to a rough start, but Grotus will just turn to Sickle. Sickle, when was the last time you saw... Oh, God, I keep forgetting.
Hellman.
Hellman lately.
3 days ago.
Were you with him when these goblins got a hold of you?
No. He had already been captured, or killed, or both.
Was it by goblins?
If it was, the goblin was very tall.
Whereabout was this?
She kind of raises one of those large-scaled hands, kind of points mostly in the direction you came from. Still within the forest. Other side of the road. About day and a half, no. Less. Half-day trek from here.
Well, I think we got all the answers we really need out of that. I don't think
Was he
these goblins...
monstrous? Was he monstrous tall, or was he human tall? Average height.
Sickle kind of turns, and to describe Sickle to you, by the way, she is a pretty massive for lizard folk size, standing around probably 7 feet tall, maybe a bit taller. That is just muscle on scales, striking a threatening visage, and she kind of just turns and looks to you. Shorter than me, taller than you.
Pretty good range.
Wait, let me double check that. How tall are you, Cassie?
I am 5'10". I'm not that
Yes,
tall.
taller
I'm
than
pretty average. Okay.
Shorter than her, taller than you.
So, I mean, which isn't that outside? I mean, that could be just an average size
I think that's
person.
everyone in the party.
Yeah, literally
Yeah,
everybody in
so-
the party is that height.
I don't know about the rest of y'all, but that sort of gives me the suspicion that goblins or things that go bump in this forest were not the culprit for the disappearance of the one guy in town who owned a share of the mines outside of...
I mean, are all goblins small? Just making sure.
Well, there's
Goblin kind of
boys.
speaks up like, goblins round here is.
I'll take
Furthest north you get his kind, but 30. Kind of points to Grotus.
This guy grunts.
Are we sure he's telling the truth?
I don't believe Sickle, right, would have much of a reason to lie to us.
I'll look at Sickle and I'll say, by chance, the person who took Hellman, were they wearing red?
No. Dressed in pitch and tar. A mask hiding the face. A blade. And she kind of gestures to the multiple puncture wounds in like her kind of chest and shouldered area. Laced with something.
I don't know about the rest of y'all, but that sounds like a hired hand to me.
Creature-eyed. A whistling noise as it moved. Like wind through reeds calling for killing.
Grotus
Is
is
this
good.
ringing any bells for me?
Almost certainly not.
What about
You can roll a history check on the side of whistling while fighting, but
Alright,
What about me? Anything in fiction I might know?
15.
sure,
Or
I'll let
my
you roll.
die.
I'll let one other person roll a history.
I'll
Oh wait,
take it.
oh damn it.
Oh, 12. Sorry, I'm just proficient.
I want to do
Uh,
it.
What am I?
History checks.
You know what?
Oh,
I'll let
no.
everyone. It's not a big deal.
Yay!
Because it's also a very difficult check. Because
Whoop.
Well, I'm gonna join in if we're doing this.
We believe in you.
yeah. Moonstone, in terms of the description of the person, nothing that really, a masked figure dressed in tar pitch clothing, like, it's as undescriptive as it gets, unfortunately. The whistling as they moved, and you kind of guess by how Sickle's describing it, it's not like a physical, like, whistling with the mouth. You've heard of it before, though very rarely, of some warriors, primarily either in some of the islands to the north or some of the kind of more eastern provinces are said to have weapons that whistled as they passed through the air. Was said to be kind of a call, like a battle cry. But Sickle describes, and like you can tell by the weaponry, that whatever pierced her was a clear, like, a very long, thin blade. You get a sense that whatever this was somehow creating this whistling something else, and it wasn't like a battle cry. It wasn't a weapon. It was something else they may have been doing.
I relayed this to the rest of the party, and looking at Sickle's wounds, she said it had some sort of coating on it.
Yep.
Could I tell what sort of poison or coating might be on it? With alchemist
Roll
class or
I'll let you and one other person roll a nature check.
Okay.
Could I roll an insight on Sickle to see if there's any more information that she might be taking out? Anything she hasn't relayed quite yet?
Sure, you can roll an insight check. Those are to be medicine checks, not nature checks. Did I say nature by accident?
You said nature,
You
yeah.
said nature.
Okay, that's my bad. I meant to say medicine.
Even worse.
Heck.
I want to do one.
I
I'll
wouldn't have
let
taken
you-
medicine, but
What's your medicine mod?
1.
I was talking about Heath.
Oh, my medicine mod is a 1,
Okay.
so it wouldn't
So,
have
yeah.
mattered.
You're not really sure. It's clear the wounds have festered and started to go through, what's the name of it?
Decay.
I've started to go septic because
Uh,
she has
Oh,
not been
no.
kept in a clean environment. By any means. Gallo,
Necrosis.
do you get a sense that she's not, like, withholding anything? You definitely get a sense that she doesn't enjoy the thought of being bested, but not that she's withholding anything.
Okay.
Look, I am relatively new to this, to y'all or your situation, or even this fella, for instance. But in all honesty, it sounds like the guy that owns the other 90% may have had a hand in this. If I was a betting man,
It's-
Isn't he your boss?
I work for the people.
Alright. And I'd say it's a pretty good bet to hedge guesses on, but Helen might be being held somewhere else, so if we can pick up a trail, we might be able to find where he's being kept.
Honestly, the best thing we can do right now is gather what we can from this camp, and if Sickle, you're up for it, lead us to where you last saw Hellman and see if we can pick up a tracks.
I can attempt.
Do you guys want
Best,
to rest here, by chance, or?
It's the middle of the day, we gotta keep moving.
No, I'm gonna look at short rest.
I said we'll look through the places first, see what we can find. Those of you who need a rest, take it.
Gallo will, he's going to walk off. He's going to start investigating, see what he can find off of these corpses and into the tents and stuff.
Yeah.
And then he'll
Sure.
come back to the group chat.
Yeah, I will
As
also
will
take a quick
Grotus.
look around. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna take a
Um,
look around, looking for anything of use.
So are you looking to take a look around and take a short rest, or are you going to divide it up? Some people taking a short rest, some people looking around.
Fuck that. Keswick sits down immediately when they talk about rest. He holds his sword out across his hands as he sits them out, and he looks like a very meditative stance, and that's what he does.
Those
So
of
he's
us who
also
are...
immediately going to take a short rest.
Yeah, Grotus will look around.
Okay.
He's gonna look around and then take his rest.
Okay.
Yeah,
well, as a
I'll
note,
look around and take a rest.
it will take a bit longer if you want to do that. I mean, you guys are at midday, so it's not terribly long. But just as a note, that would increase.
Yeah, I was just gonna say some people rest, some of us investigate. If you're gonna take a short rest, we got time. We're on a time frame. That's how Grotus would indicate this. Is we don't got time to do both. Take your picks.
Yeah, Xavier's gonna
Depends how you look at it.
haphazardly go about and look.
Okay, so we got 4 people looking, 2 people resting.
In
Three
that
people.
case,
Sickle.
then Gala will just stay within, like around the campfire area, and just check the corpses there, and then sit down. So it
Sure,
only-
I'll say that's fine.
Do
So
you
for
get do you get back channel divinity on a short rest?
yes,
Okay.
Channel Divinity. I know clerics do. I would assume
Paladin should too.
I believe paladins are the same.
Okay.
Moonstone will look at Grotus and just be like, if we're going to take a look around here, we're also going to need time to rest. I think most of us got pretty haggard.
Well, then take your rest. I'll look around.
And there's a tent, and he points to, I believe it was this here.
It's this one that has the goblin still sleeping in it that you saw.
Well, you
Still
told
sleeping
me
with him.
whenever I went through there that she looked pretty much dead.
She did.
Oh,
She's
okay.
still breathing though.
Oh, okay.
Like
okay.
she's not. She did. There's more to see there, but you have to kind of like take a more clear glance. But there is. It is very clear that goblin is not healthy.
Okay. Then he'll mention there's there's the tent over there that has weapons and arrows and such, and that tent has a goblin sleeping. highly injured. Well, they hadn't come out yet this entire time, so they're most likely injured.
Well, I don't think we gotta worry about them just yet. I mean, we still gotta do some searching.
I will just cast Detect Magic using my Arcanist feat. And then just take a quick comb around the camp, see if anything pings up magical.
Sure. Roll a general investigation check.
And I'll just look for useful things or valuable things.
Yeah, if you're looking through the bodies, I'll let you also make an investigation check. A 13. Moonstone, searching around, you do find, as you kind of do take a moment, there is a bit of glints of things within the tent that you saw the raid boss come out of. Searching inside, well, there does not seem to be anything directly magical, as in like a magical item. You do find 25 gold pieces worth of the bloodroot herb. Can be used to make concoctions, usually that restore health, like healing potions. You also find, though it is unfortunately not really useful to the rest of you, about 50 gold pieces worth of enchanted ink and paper that would be used by a wizard.
Right. And then 50 gold worth of enchanted ink paper.
Gallo, looking through,
Yeah.
it's much the same as what you've found on them before. There are basic weapons, the scimitars and short swords that they have wielded, arrows, bows, and a number of them carry those strange quills that you had found before. Going through a lot of them.
He was also looking through the tents as well, I wanted to mention.
Okay, then that won't be a short rest.
Oh,
Like
okay.
you'll have to
Never
go.
mind.
That's what I'm saying. Well, that's what I'm saying, right? If you guys want to do this
Oh.
quickly, then it's kind of choosing one or the other. If you guys
Okay,
want to
then.
take that extra about an hour or so, then you can take. Then you guys can do both and participate in both. It's
I'll
up to
stick
you
with
guys.
I mean, do we want to spend 2 hours, or do we want to
I
keep
would.
moving, guys?
I was under the impression we were in a hurry. Isn't this
Yeah.
guy's life on the line?
That's why Grotus is like, we should hurry. We got time to do. Those of us who can search tents. Otherwise, people don't take short rests.
Okay,
Grotus-
yeah, I'll just stick to the bodies then.
Grotus is hurting, but I'm okay enough that I can skip the short rest. Hopefully.
And Gallo, That is unfortunate, Xavier.
I rolled a 15, by the
Oh,
way, if you
no.
didn't
Okay,
notice.
It's
By the
fine.
way-
'Cause or sorry, go ahead.
for Gallo,
Hey, I'll be right back. I gotta answer a phone call. Sorry, guys.
No, no,
altogether, you find math is hard. Hold on, 9 silver pieces and 6 gold pieces on the goblin corpses as you kind of go through them.
Does that also include the big warg body? Since
They're
it's
just beasts. They don't. You can.
no
They
teeth.
have fur and teeth, but they don't have like pockets.
Okay. Wait, what was it again? 9 silver and
9 silver and 6 gold.
okay.
And then Grotus. So, and I guess Xavier is helping because he wasn't taking a short rest.
I will say that. Sorry. Just with Xavier specifically, when he was going through, he is very obviously winded, and he's
Yeah.
just kind
No,
of
I get
going
it.
through. He climbs inside of a tent. He just stays in there for 10 minutes. He calms back out.
Going through Grotus, looking through the tents and looking through the surrounding area. A few things you notice, especially while looking through, just like even stepping by the bodies, a lot of them were seemingly not the most adept at fighters. You know, you see a lot of both like men and women of goblin race, but none of them clearly showed like heavy experience in fighting, aside from basic like survival fighting, or anything like that. And judging by what you had heard from the Red Horn camp, most likely this was simply what was left, and most of their fighters had probably gone and perished. Yes.
Oh, when Moonstone just comes out of the tent after just quickly looking around, he's gonna give his toolbox of holding to Grows and just be like, "Do me a favor if you're looking around a bunch, drop any metal weapons or anything of the like into there."
Fair enough. Anyway, so Chris, what would I find?
Yep. Looking through, as I said, it seems very much what was here was the very last remnants of it. Passing through the tents, you do see each of them very much was either a living quarters for a few goblins, where you can see beds made of furs or hay or other materials easily found in the forest. Looking through the kind of tents at the back, passing into the raid boss's tent, you do kind of see it was clearly a bit of a higher caliber than those before. Very much clearly what would be befitting of the leader of this goblin tribe. You see what is kind of a small resting area that you imagine she would have used. It looks like an actual bed, whereas the rest of the goblins just have cots. And you do notice these 2 large beds beside her that you would assume would have probably been the wargs that you had fought and killed. Looking through, there is an alchemy tent, or an alchemy supply, that she seemingly used herself.
I'm back.
Okay. As well as a few other scattered remnants. You imagine tools and items, or maybe jewels, that she's taken from people over the years that her tribe has most likely attacked. You do find a sapphire ring, probably worth about 30 gold pieces, not too much. As well as a gold necklace with a single diamond at its center, probably worth a bit more. You'd guess around 50. Looking through that one beside her tent, you notice very much this tent wasn't exactly for living, and you immediately kind of notice that this was meant to be I forget the official name for it, but it's kind of like a sickbed area. Immediately kind of looking by, the beds are of a bit higher quality, and some of the supplies in the room indicated that it was most likely meant to be for injured. And looking towards the goblin that is still unconscious, with a 15, you do notice that they have heavy wounds across the chest, and you imagine without medical attention probably won't last for much longer. Finally, with a 15, as you just did manage to hit the DC, not far outside of the camp, you do see eventually what seems to be this almost small burial ground, fresh dirt still put upon it, and kind of looking through and just like slowly pushing through, you do see what looks to be a number of goblin corpses, probably around half a dozen or so, each of which has puncture wounds that at first you relate to the same ones that Sickle had, but looking closer, they are... A couple of them still have what seems to be the broken remains of some of those quills jammed into their bodies and clearly killed by them.
So the quill. So they were killed. Okay, just reiterate for that, Chris. They were killed by the same arrows the goblins used. Was I'm getting?
They seem to be, yeah, it seemed to be, from what you could tell, it was just the quills. There wasn't any point of an arrow that you could see that they were tied to. But they were very much killed by something using these quills as well.
Okay, now I take it there's nothing on them specifically.
No,
Just
it
no
seems like very
symbol.
much their own kind would have stripped them for what they had.
Yeah.
Other than that, the basics, if you are looking for anything of simple material, rations, water, some leathers and furs, the goblins do have a decent surplus of it. The choice is yours if you wish to take.
Sure, I'll grab the steels and metal at least, and then I'll
Sure.
hand them down to put in Moonstone's box.
For sure. I'll say for the sake of it, you can roll 1d20 for metal weapons. That you are
20!
gathering up in. 20, did you actually?
Yeah, it's right there.
You find, you go through, you find 20 different of varying qualities, short swords and scimitars, spears even that they most likely stole from other people. You can
I'm
put
just gonna
20.
put down 20 metal weapons.
Yeah, that's fair.
Nothing beyond small weapons, though, right? There's nothing like they don't have to have
Like I
to
said,
have a
spear.
long sword or something,
No,
or a
spears are probably the biggest things they have.
Yeah, I was just asking. Okay, so
For sure.
well, we will take 19 of those or 18 of those as I wander over to Scars and hand them any of these useful for you.
She kind of looks and is like, no.
Fair enough.
Just goes back to being like just sitting near the slave pit. One thing you notice that is slightly odd to you is, despite the fact that there is clearly age to this camp and age to the goblins that lived here, there are, aside from Sickle, there were no slaves, which is odd. Goblins are known for their... Slaves are very much a driving force within a goblin camp, especially as they get larger and larger and older. The fact that there were none here is not usually right, unless they went against having slaves. But seeing as Sickle was almost one, you're doubting them.
Yeah, Grotus will kind of look over and go, weird. Normally goblin camps like these have lots of slaves in them, but there's not a single one here. Apart from what they were trying to do the Sickle.
You just hear this, like, I am no slave.
I realize you're not, hence why I said trying to do to you.
Often in times of war, the weakest are the first to fall. If between the battle with the town and the beast that's rumored to lurk near here, it's not unrealistic to assume that they were fallen or even sacrificed.
Gallo will look towards the goblin
Mhm.
that is still tied up and says, "What do you have to say about that?"
I repeat that. What do you ask him specifically?
What does he have to say about it? The strangeness of
Of not having slaves?
lack of slaves.
Okay. We lost him. Couldn't keep him anymore. Needed him for meats and such.
Oh, that's disturbing.
We didn't eat him.
Damn it, that was going to be my next question.
Grotus walks over and looms over top of the goblin and goes, if you didn't eat them, then who did?
Kind of looks to you. Sharma had people come through. They wanted to kill us all. She offered slaves as meat instead to the things that wanted us as meat.
What came by
Said
that
she could
morning?
help them. So they wouldn't kill us.
What? What came by warning you?
Beastie, 4 legs, large, I don't know specifics. Used, and he kind of gives a gesture. He does gesture to one of the quills. Those draped across its back like cloak.
Well, there's apparently a lot out here we weren't aware of.
Oh, seems like we
Don't
might
you
have some.
guys-
This is very much the reason I came to these woods. Or one of them.
That's his food. Shalmor bartered with it, did not wish us to die.
So it's an intelligent, four-legged creature. Use some sort of armor.
Face like yours. Points, not points, but gestures to you, Gallo.
Like mine.
Yeah, all pretty likes. Rest of it isn't pretty, though.
Well.
Eyes like a serpent.
Eyes like a serpent. Is this ringing a bell for me?
Probably not, but roll a nature check. I'll let anyone roll a nature check if they want.
Nature check.
Say it's a DC of 16.
Ha!
Ethan Gallo hit it. Hit it right on the
I'm
noggin.
Gonna hit it to no.
Xavier, you could attempt. We will always love you for trying. Kessex,
Thank
beast,
you.
the man with beast lore for days.
Ha 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 ha.
I'm a
To the
sweet- I'm a
three
sweet
of you.
boy.
Yeah. Julius, do you want to roll as well?
Yeah.
Yeah!
A number of you have heard of it, and it's only mention of the face that it references to like gallows that kind of it immediately clicks that most likely these goblins are working for a creature that produces and uses those quills but holds the face of a man, and immediately kind of in those two forms connecting together, Gallo, Heath, Kessex, and Julius, each of you come to your own conclusions that most likely what it's referencing is a manticore.
Oh shit.
A
Well,
large winged beast, 4 legs and covered in spines to a massive hooked tail, able to fire them like projectiles, and a large maw made to represent and look like that of a human's until its eyes widened and its teeth expelled from its mouth to consume its prey.
Grodus just looks around, kind of like gives a sigh, goes, "Fuck."
What is it?
Well,
Wonderful.
this, as when I first met you, was part of the discussion. If we're quick to finish this task, you all will still lend me your hand with this one, will you not?
Y'all want to clarify exactly what you're talking about?
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same page with Xavier.
It's a manticore.
Manta who?
It's manticore. It's
The-
the face of a human.
Ah, you call them a different thing where you're from. Where I come from, they're called maladins.
Paladins.
We
No,
still talking
it's-
about them little sea critters inside of the ocean?
No,
No.
we are talking about the creature that the goblins are working for, where the slaves had been sent off to. It has a body of a lion, a tail of a scorpion, bat-like wings, but it has the face of a human.
What the?
Now, does this now ring a bell for me? Just being as studious as I am.
Sure. Nope.
Okay, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that sounds obvious now when you put it
Are
like that.
fables written of manticores? Because maybe Xavier's read about one before, but
You may have read about one, but you definitely didn't put it together what it was.
yeah, of course he didn't.
Oh,
Julius has like a strained smile on his face. He's just like, well, we can't leave dangerous creatures like that out on the loose.
I don't think
Grodus
anyone's
looks
paying
over at Julius with kind of a, not exactly a glare, but kind of like a concerned raised eyebrow, goes, "Aye, beasties like that are not a good thing to have in around."
You know, guys, I'm just gonna be honest. I know that I've met and seen quite a few things upon leaving Kelligan, but bat wings, human head, lion body, what the hell are the gods think?
I mean, it's not the strangest thing I've heard of, but more importantly, though, as Moonstone gets up after his armor has finished spritzing him with a source of liquids, alright, so we're gonna go find Hammond. Let's first get Hammond back to safety, and then after this, we'll see if we can't get anyone to pay us to go take care of a manticore.
Well, that's the thing. If the manticore is connected to these goblins, he may very well end up being with it to be.
And even if we can't find someone to pay us, A creature like that can't be out on the loose.
We'll take
seem
comfort
a
in the
little-
fact that the guy that owned the mines, what was his name?
It
I own the
is-
mines.
Was it Delphus?
Delphus Farstone.
Delphus Farstone.
Look at me writing notes down because I have an intelligent character and I feel like I should now. But if you find comfort in it, Delphus did promise us a handsome sum for it. Out of curiosity, does anyone here have the ability to disguise themselves magically?
I do. I just need a day to make a little contraption to do it.
Not magically, but
Sort of hard to hide these looks.
Same, right? And he just jabs Julius with his elbow.
rolls eyes.
He grins.
I look over to Kessex and just go, "Give me a day, and I'm gonna do it."
Well, I, again, do not mean to be presumptuous, but if my gut is right, Delphus is responsible for the disappearance of your Hellman. And if we go search this spot where Sickle last saw them, again, thank you for the lead. I have a feeling we'll find the trail back to town, and on top of that, if we arrive with the Hellman, I'm sure we would be... what's the word I'm looking for? We would be able to tell immediately by the look on your Delta's face if Hellman walked straight back into town.
Perhaps. In any case, first things first, what are we doing with this little shit as I point to the goblin?
The goblin
Let him go.
kind of chimes
Yeah.
up. You can't beat it. Sharmar couldn't beat it. Sharmar couldn't stand chance even with preparations. And was she not trying not to kill us, Sharmar could have killed all of you.
Well, we may not be able to, but we can sure as hell try. Thanks for looking out.
And at least you'll keep it fed for a few weeks.
Kessex will go and cut the dagger on the goblin. He's like, I don't know what's taking a look at my face, but I'm real good at getting my ass kicked. This is just another beast. And I will, if everybody's done, I'll look to y'all ready to cut the rope.
Well, I ain't got anything else to think. Do you know of anything particularly interesting in this camping now?
You're asking the goblin?
Yeah, no, just it's like, is there anything else of value here that we should take? Because we'll find there is, and we didn't take it. I'm going back with it.
I would not take much more from them. They've had enough of a struggle.
For the sake of it, roll a persuade I'll say roll a persuasion check if you like, because you're letting him go. Gallo, or not Gallo? Moonstone.
Sure.
Man, names are hard.
You're good.
I hate names.
Love it.
11. Sharmar keeps some supplies in her tent, but she'll be coming back for it. She's coming back for me too eventually.
Alright, you keep telling yourself that. I'm good.
All right,
I do
Oh.
have one more question.
ask away, friend.
Julius will cross his arms and kind of look down at the goblin. Do you perchance have other locations where goblin folk such as yourself have sort of set up and have individuals such as her, and he gestures to Sickle?
Kinda looks nothing like her. Other goblins live near, yes, but I have not been there.
Do they have other individuals enslaved?
I assume.
And where are these locations?
See you for a bit, but his clan's mostly gone as is. Kind of points one finger. 2 days down the river. There should be one. I know there's another in these woods, but I don't know where they are.
He gets a bit of a conflicted look on his face. Does he believe it? That
Sure, roll an insight check.
Nice.
17? He might be holding back a bit on that second location, but you get a sense that probably didn't like the first one. That's why I told you where it is.
Fair enough.
He's a narc.
Julius will kneel down and look at this creature just dead in the eye. I think it would be in your best interest to point us in the direction of the other one as well.
Kind of looks at you for a moment.
Gala will pipe up, might I add. We weren't planning to kill any of you in the first place. We would have found our target and left, so...
He seemingly kind of self-reflects on it for a bit. Before just looking you in the eyes, Julius, and going, "No, I won't."
Do you know that you can actually live without your kneecaps?
Kessex,
wait.
Kessex is going to cut the rope, and he's going to kick the goblin in the butt and scurrying into the woods.
Before he does that, sorry.
No, we're threatening goblins now for no reason.
I had a question.
You kind of cut the ropes, and the goblin immediately does try to move, and there's a bit of reluctance. I have to do something before I leave.
What is that?
Sharma doesn't want the children to suffer. To put her out of her misery. Kind of gestures to the tent.
I can take care of that.
Let him do it. It's his people.
Yeah, besides, we gotta get moving.
Grotus stops and goes, I just want to make sure that he does what he says he's going to do. So Grotus will let him do it, but he's going to watch him do it.
Sure. The goblin looks around. Grotus, you strip this camp bare of weapons.
I will hand him a dagger, and I will follow Grotus in as well. And when we approach, or if we go into the tent, if that's fine, I'd like to kneel over the goblin and say in Primordial, Nihil Umbra Vincit, before backing away.
Sure, the goblin's still very nervous amongst you all, but there is this strange bond to his own clan that you have noticed just by the way he speaks, the way he seemingly just refuted Julius. He waits a moment, just still not sure of you all, before eventually, and just in his attempt of one quick movement, just plunges the dagger into the throat. Within moments, whatever last threads of life still held that goblin quickly vanished. Kind of waits, pulls the dagger free, turns to you, still holding it defensively.
Kessex shows no form of I don't seem aggressive.
Grotus kind of has his arms crossed, looking at it, and goes, well, you better get going now then, goblin.
And kind of slowly, as you guys are kind of in the only entrance, does walk through before, basically as soon as he gets 10 feet from you, he starts bolting to the northeast.
As he does, though, I'm going to say Grotus turns to Kessex and goes, what was that there you just murmured under the goblin?
Yeah, if you say it a couple times, I'm curious.
You weren't in the room.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
It's my order's mantra. Shadows never win. Did he take my dagger?
Yes. 100%. If nobody stopped him, he 100% kept the dagger and ran.
Grotus looks at you. You know he's got your dagger, right?
He probably needs it a lot more than I do.
Kind of shrugs. Fair enough. Did you need something to fight at range with?
I have a few more.
Fair enough.
I have one more.
Well, in any case, we better get everything together and get going here.
By the way, Chris, during the
Yep.
short rest, did I get a chance to work on my design for the ring anymore or no?
I believe it was a point that you had. Oh no, you were trying to get the materials lowered, right?
Yeah, because right now I think it was 30 gold. What's the
Something like that. I'll say you can roll Tinker's Tool check. Actually, I guess in this case, because you're trying to reduce the amount that you need for an arcane focus, I'm going to say it's Arcana.
Alright.
17. Slowly but surely, you're refining the design to make it a bit more adept, more kind of... Words are failing me today. Then again, I say that like every day.
Me too, buddy. Me too.
Yes.
You're getting it kind of like more compact and more portable. I'll say you've cut it down by an additional 5 gold pieces. You get a sense probably with a bit more time, you can probably cut it down an additional, maybe another 5 in total.
Alright. Yeah, and this is the ring that produces the little wooden ball.
And then,
Okay.
yep, I remembered.
Real quick, I would like to say one thing. When I did tell Grotus that was my order mantra, I would have showed him the sigil around my neck, which is it's a yellow sword on like a black field. It's just like a small medallion.
Interesting.
They can be, yes. Well, let's move on before any more goblins decide to rob me.
I probably best get moving on before, the employer we're trying to save to get paid for is killed, too. Grotus will walk out of the tent. Oh,
Once you guys like return with the group, Julius, once we get all that sorted, he kind of looks off in the direction where the goblin had pointed earlier.
Sure, he pointed in 2 directions. He pointed like one to the west following the river, and one vaguely to the north. Well, you assume the one he ran to, he was probably running to one where he thought he could go, so.
Okay. Could we, perchance, look out over the area that he had pointed us towards, where they might be keeping people?
You're wanting to free some people, aren't you?
Well, he said there is possibility for slaves there, so...
Is that a yes or a no?
Yes.
Alrighty then. Is that a problem with anybody?
I suppose
Well-
not.
Well, as long as we get our mission done first, we are getting paid for this, so I'll prefer we do that first.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
Yeah,
for
afterwards.
slaves. They're not up to the cutting block, so to speak. I don't think so, at least.
I'm all for that. We'll get the slaves after we take care of what's going on with Hammond. If we do it right
Yeah.
away, the faster we move, the faster we'll feed the slaves then.
Yeah.
A look of
Well-
relief comes to his face, and he kind of nods his head.
Sarad,
Yes.
just making sure, what's the urgency on your sort of mission? I know that you wanted to do something as well.
Beasts exist in this world for hundreds of years before you came along, and they'll exist long after we're dead. This is just another beast in that line. It can wait.
Alright, just making sure. I don't want to make it seem like we're throwing away the intention of you joining us.
It needs to be handled. As of right now, it can wait.
Alright.
In
well,
any case,
if you all don't mind, we're planning on doing some more stuff together. Would you mind, letting me prepare for a day or two? I got some things I gotta work on.
Yeah, after we're done with this, right?
Yeah.
Of course.
in any case, let's get moving, everybody. Time's
Yep,
wasted.
let's go.
Sickle, if you'd lead the way, please.
And slowly, kind of the massive lizard folk just start moving through.
I will say, that in the time that you guys were inside of the camp, Xavier has collected in a mass of dead leaves and like popcorn. Essentially, he's
Sure.
just burning one and then throwing away, burning one and throwing.
A forest fire rages behind you, but sure.
No.
So unfortunately, this was something I did make a mistake on yesterday, or not yesterday, last week. Sickle does have 2 levels of exhaustion, and is thus a bit slower than she would be. And though while following her, she is at a slightly, like, you guys are moving 30 feet while she's moving 20 feet, slightly slower pace. But still will make it in probably around, a couple hours.
2 levels?
Seeing her struggle, Julius is gonna actually kind of pause and turn to kind of look. Would you like a little help?
The lizard folk just looks to you. No.
Are you certain? We
But
do
it
want
just
to.
walks.
He keeps talking though, like striding up to walk by her.
Yeah, and you can easily keep pace with her. That was a mistake I made last time. I forgot that she had 2 levels and not 1. So she is a bit slower than she should be. But she's a
Looking at
barbarian,
her,
so she does move a bit quicker as well.
God. Looking at her, he's just like, I mean no offense by it. I saw you in the fight. You are a very strong fighter. I clearly saw, but you've also been dealing with quite a bit for a while. I would like to offer a bit of help. I was not able to do much during the fight, so...
I do not need it.
Julius, you can bring a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Don't worry, if you don't want
Wait a
help,
minute.
don't
We
gotta
still
do it.
have our horses. We
Yes,
keep
we do.
forgetting those.
Oh,
Let's
right.
just put her on a bloody horse so we can move at a normal speed.
Sure, that's fair. She
It's like
seems
take
very
the horse
reluctant
from
to
the
get on a
front,
horse, as a lizard folk on a horse looks stupid, but eventually she does.
What are you talking about? She's amazing.
It looks stupid.
It's graceful.
When-
The tail doesn't know which side to lean over, it's stupid.
When catches a chance, though,
I don't mean to
he's
give
gonna-
you work, Zaku, but I believe you're one of the best person here to show Chris that he's wrong.
You know what? You're fucking right. What were you saying?
Oh no. Xavier was just gonna go ahead and kind of like almost hook Julius's arm just for like a quick minute with his hand, and he's just, I know that you're still kind of learning about character, but you really shouldn't piss someone like her off. She's kind of meaner than a wet panther, if you get what I'm saying.
I'm not trying to piss her off. I wanted to just let it known that really would not be a bother.
I know. I'm just saying. She looked like she was about 2 seconds from, making your head roll off your shoulder.
Gives a little shrug at that. If
As
it
soon
means
as-
that she would be willing to let me help, then sure.
No. He kind of gets a weird look in his eye, but he lets go of his arm and just kind of walks forward and is just, all right, but just looking at. He starts
No,
walking to the horse.
I do appreciate it.
By the way, as soon as Julius was pulled away from Sickle, Moonstone will kind of just like walk up a little bit and just be like, "Boy, I know you've had a long day, but you do anything after this?"
Sleeping,
But after that,
killing, most likely.
fair enough. Oh, Paul, someone's calling me. I'll be right back.
Well, we found
So-
we found Moonstone's type apparently.
Carnivorous?
As
Strong, independent woman.
As Grotus walks up, leads us towards with the horses. How long? He just goes to Gallo, but goes, so Gallo, you already, that was a bit of a misstep back there, wasn't it?
When he says that, he doesn't seem to have a reaction much, but his eyebrow twitches slightly. As I said, it won't happen again.
Yeah, it's not like it was a problem. I'm just saying, it'll happen again. It'll happen again for sure. But as I said, best thing we could do is work together for it. I think we got a little lucky there, to be honest.
Sorry about
No.
No problem. He shakes his head more to himself and just mutters under his breath, "Where I come from, mistakes like that costs more than walking away."
Grotus kind of nods. I can agree with that. I'm used to it a bit myself.
He'll
Though,
look up at him.
He'll look over at you, but with a smile, goes, "Mind you, usually they're the ones making the mistake and not walking away."
Mm. He thinks about that for a second and then does a sort of one shoulder shrug. Sometimes.
In any case, we got more ahead of us. Make sure you're rested up.
Not feeling the most chipper, but I'll be able to hold off for a while. What about you? You took the brunt of most things here.
Oh, I'll be fine with a bit. We'll see whether we can find our employer or get that out of the way, and then after we get him ready, I'll take a nice long rest. As far as the rest of you go, as he says, he's like, you can look at Grodus, he's above bloody, but just barely at this point.
Oh boy.
Mostly due to my level up hit points is the only reason he's no longer bloodied. But he's like, I'll be fine. I've had worse. Not a lot, I'll admit, but I've had worse.
In any case, if the Manticore ends up being our next target, it would probably be in our best interest to rest longer than we have.
Oh, we're definitely for sure for that, but I'd say at the moment, the other thing, if we're facing a Manticore, he's going to look behind at the party. I think everybody's going to need a bit of range for a fight like that.
A strong wind had blown all those dead leaves into Xavier's face, and he's currently fighting the air.
Oh boy.
I just imagine the ash has just made him blackface.
Yeah, he just struck by. Ah.
Ooh, guys, I don't think we can hang out with Xavier anymore.
Yeah.
As someone who is covered in black fur, Moonstone is highly offended.
You're okay back there, Xavier.
I'm doing fine.
Well, you did
Peachy,
good.
fucking peachy.
Yeah, you did good back there, lad. Keep up the good work.
Yes,
Swallow
you did
it.
too. I didn't see much, but I saw the corpses after. Wait, you. He swallowed it.
Moonstone's just gonna give him a hearty pat on the back.
Yeah,
Alright,
his
alright.
partner.
Hands you a water skin.
Yeah, he quickly does it on his face, real quick, just a little bit, and just wipes around, but only 2 wipes, and it seems like most of the soot had been picked up, and he just immediately tosses his face to the side, just getting the water off and the soot off, and he's just, oh, thanks.
Yeah, problem. And Moonstone will take back the water skin.
Sure thing.
And he'll look over to Sir Cassix, or Sir Odd, and just be like, oh wait, Cassix.
I am Moonstone.
So this Manticore business, you're looking to hunt it down, yeah?
It's, rumors have managed to reach me that it's become enough of a nuisance to gather my attention at the very least. So yes, I would very much like to put an end to that nuisance.
Well, if I join you? Like, I'm not sure if everyone else is on board with doing that.
Well, I believe the deal was I help you find Hellman, y'all help me take down a Manticore. I'm not an idiot, I can't do it myself. And there's no one from my order here to help me.
Hell, oh, listen, I can help you. By the way, I had some ideas. So-
About what?
Well, you got your fancy blood, right?
Fancy's a word for it, yes.
So, I was actually had a couple of ideas of maybe trying to utilize it, besides just what you normally do with it. Like, so if we take a day or two to prepare, I might try to work on something that I can use it. Yeah, use it to its maximum potential outside of your standard abilities.
That sounds quite interesting, actually. I'm always one for expanding my arsenal.
Great. I got a few things in the works right now, but I'll try to get that done. Try to come up with the design.
Yes, that'd be quite fantastic, in fact. Let me know when you start. I would be glad to help.
And I'll be glad to provide. Just by the way, when we hit the Manticore up, though, after we're done with it, mind if I scavenge it for parts, see what I can't pull out?
Are you asking me?
Well, I don't know if you have some sort of ritual of monsters that you like to do.
Hold on a sec. Zaku, you could have done better.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that proves my point.
Yeah, you proved Chris's point. He looks so dirty and mad.
What are you talking about? That looks beautiful.
I like I like it.
No, I like it. I was expecting a painting.
Well, we got the image for today's game.
Okay, I'm sorry about that.
It's okay.
Anyway, yeah. Once we get a couple days to prepare, I'll let you know when I start doing my test trials. I'm gonna probably need a bad amount of your blood though, but don't worry, I'll make some healing salves for you so you aren't actually like losing blood.
Yeah, whatever works. I'm used to the blood loss, and I'll kind of just gesture to my very bloodied clothing, not just from that last fight, but old blood and pull a tooth out of my pocket and show it to you, and then put it back in my pocket.
Oh boy, I'm gonna really have to help you out with your dental, aren't I?
That's just the chewing ones.
Those are kind of important.
Not if you don't chew.
Are you on an all liquid diet?
No, I just it was a joke.
Ah, sorry. But no, yeah, I can listen. If your jaw flies off, I could probably build you another one. But yeah, no, I'll let you know when I start my test trials.
Yeah, no. Again, I'm eager.
Oh, that makes me glad to hear because I love experimenting.
Yes. Like I said, I've told you the story before of my master and his variety of ways for hunting. It's I'm used to being the experiment.
Oh, that makes me feel more bad.
Do not feel bad.
Well, listen here. I'm not going to put you into anything dangerous, but if you ever want me to if you have any ideas of things you want made, let me know. Always eager to try to figure things out.
I'll keep that in mind. There were a few gadgets that others in my order used. From people like yourself. Maybe we can work on building some of those.
Yeah, I'm all ears.
I'll have to, I guess, find some pen and paper at some point and at least sketch down the basic ideas for it.
Yeah, I'll hand you my sketchbook.
Oh, bit difficult while we're walking, but do you mind if I hold on to it, or would you like it now?
Just hold on to it when we get a break if I'm not using it. Jot down what you can.
I'd love to, and I'll put it in my bag. Moonstone.
Yeah.
I believe we are going to make quite fast friends.
You know what? I believe that too. You seem like a good guy.
I try to be.
Alright.
So, we travel for half a day?
Yep. So, for most of the day, the remaining day, you do take walking through the woods at kind of this slight angle, which eventually grows kind of more and more distant to the angle that you took to get here in the first place. Following it, you can very much see during the time that where most likely Sickle and Helman were parted was very much just on their journey. They weren't anywhere they weren't supposed to be, but something did catch them. See, slowly through about maybe an hour or two left of sunlight as it breaks through the trees. Eventually, Sickle leads you to a small clearing, barely noticeable within the woods. As you all kind of reach it, she brings the horse that she's riding onto a stop in a very proficient manner. You imagine she doesn't do this much. She keeps pulling it hard, like pulling the reins until it stops, and it's like at a point where she's like almost pulling the horse's head up. But eventually, she does kind of note. She stops and looks to one of the trees, and you can clearly see how she identifies that this was the place. Looking towards one of the trees, you see there is a massive set of teeth marks on the bark. She points, "Here."
Very good. Xavier,
Yes, sir.
want to give me a hand here, my friend? We gotta see if we can pick up a trail, perhaps.
He just perks up with a little smile. Sure, I'd be happy to. Where going? Past here.
Hey.
She's a... Alright.
got the teeth mark bites here, so we're gonna see if we can pick up any sort of tracks to where possibly our employer was dragged off to from this location.
Of course.
Yes.
You very much get a sense, by the way, most likely the teeth marks are sickles.
No,
Yeah,
I knew that, didn't it?
that wasn't obvious, but
I guessed.
I will
So
take
for
an
the sake of
advantage
this, then-
survival
yeah.
with
that's
Xavier's
totally
assistant. Yep.
23. Okay.
Back to one knee.
Nice.
Well done, my
Boy.
man.
Immediately glancing through the area, there is signs of a scuffle. You can kind of immediately tell there are seemingly was only 3 participants in the fight, and you can kind of tell it just from the different impacts on the ground, residue left on trees and brushes, and that sort of thing. The first, of course, is Sickle. You've seen her fight, you understand it. She is heavy, fast, and brutal. And you can see different points where, like, her claws dug into the ground as she moved. She would slammed into a tree here, and you can kind of get a visual for, like, probably how this fight went. There are 2 other signs you see. Both of them are extremely light on the feet. And both of them, from what you can tell, most likely utilized some kind of magic, as there are some burns and remnants left upon the grass and dirt that very much couldn't have been there from regular means. Looking through with a 23, you assumed or knew that Hellman was a bit of a magic caster himself, and you can see where there are burns in the bushes and on the trees. There is one component that stands out uniquely to you, Grotus, which is I need to pull this up just to make sure I'm getting the smell right. You notice it actually on a slight, almost spray across the ground. It looks like blood at first, but as you kind of look closer, it's almost to that, like, baseball field gravel red. Look to whatever has hit the ground here. And smelling it, it's very much brimstone-esque. Sulfuric. I'll say make a medicine or a nature check with advantage, your choice.
I'll take it nature.
I'm just giving you advantage because you rolled the...
Oh,
20.
God damn it. 8.
An 8? It's some brimstone, like, it's some sulfur-based substance.
Chris, I have
For
a
sure.
quick question. Is that a smell everybody can smell or no?
I've pointed out, yeah.
I could have sworn
I-
that Xavier and Grotus were headed to head. Or
Yeah, well, yeah, you're.
Oh, yeah, sorry,
Xavier was
Grotus-
my assistant. Yeah, so we're both
Yeah,
looking at
Xavier
this.
You're
Hi.
right.
Can I get a
Uh,
medicine check in, maybe?
Sure.
All right.
Well, yeah, I'll say medicine's fine.
It doesn't.
Oh
Unfortunately.
no!
Oh my god, dude! It's not even that you have such. Also,
Oh yeah,
No,
I'm
you're
cursed.
you're rolling very poorly, and it's a sorry
I
sight.
am
I
cursed.
hope you're having fun despite
I
these
am.
rolls.
No, trust me. It makes the successes sweeter. I'm just waiting.
Hey
Uh-huh.
Xavier, if you want to bounce backup character ideas off of me, I'm always down.
Xavier, man.
But yeah,
No,
you
Chris,
can all
I-
kind of.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No,
I
go
had a
ahead.
question. Like, if the smell is pointed out, I have advantage and sensitive senses to phase fiends, undeads. It's nothing like that, right?
I'll say,
I mean, Xavier and Grotus are going to give you guys the full report when they get back.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you told me about the smell. I was just curious if it'd be something. It was great.
You very much get a sense that I'll let you roll a religion check, actually. A 19. Okay. With your advantage of smell, and you kind of bring this in, you've smelt this substance before. You would know this as, while loosely related to fiendish entities, because it is a brimstone-like pigment, or a pigment that is used, like, that has brimstone as a piece of it, you have heard of it in studies of fiendish creatures. Whatever this is, you get a sense it is, like, whatever this was, like, on, you imagine this was cinnabar. A bright red, like, brick-like scarlet, usually solid, like a stone, though seemingly was made into a liquid form where it resembles mercury. You would know that it is very toxic and very poisonous.
Okay.
What you got there,
well-
mate?
Well, I didn't find it, but like when they were smelling things,
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
I brought it up.
Was that
So,
basically
I
all they
will-
kind of picked? Dark, go ahead.
No.
Sorry,
it
I was just
wasn't.
gonna say I'll let them finish what they're doing before I say anything.
You do notice there are heavy blood splatters on the ground, which you could assume to probably mostly be from Sickle. You do notice as well that there is a patch where clearly something was laying down, and you assume this to be most likely, if Hellman fell, this is probably it. The size of it kind of sits with what you imagine. And looking to it with the natural 20 that Grotus and Xavier were able to put together, there are few to no bloodstains.
So we can extrapolate from that. He probably didn't die here. If so, there's a
Definitely
good chance-
didn't. Yeah, you assume he definitely didn't die in the fight. You don't know what knocked him down.
Xavier just kind of nudges Grotus and is just, a lot of people had a bit of a duck fit over here. Shit. So, he's still alive, right? That's for sure.
It's the
What I'm
most
picking
likely
up.
scenario.
Right,
I mean-
right.
I suppose he could have been killed by means that didn't create blood, but apart from that, why would they take the body away if he was dead, right?
Of course, but I'm wondering exactly. I mean, yeah, this seems like a pretty wild contestants, and there's bits of magic, burns professional and unprofessional around here. But this don't sit right. I don't think this would be something that could just simply be done by a normal creature, or at least if it was. I don't know. Do those manta whatevers have some sort of paralysis?
Grotus is gonna look over at you and just
As far as this four of you that got the checks on it, no.
Yeah. Grotus kind of blinks at you, looks at you, goes, "No, but I don't think we're dealing with the Manticore here. Remember, from what we were told by Sickle, this was a human or a humanoid figure that did all this."
Oh, right. Sorry, mixed signals.
That's when Keswick would pop in and say, and the smell, the one you found, that's
Lord, damn. Sorry,
You
you gotta
realize
announce your presence.
we're all in one group.
And
Moonstone just takes his hands off his ears and goes, "You know that was a lie, right?"
yeah. You
Magical
ever been
fighting.
quiet when you're scared?
Okay, we're off track here, folks. Kessex, what were you saying?
It's a manufactured poison.
Oh,
That
great.
smell. Whatever we're
What?
dealing with isn't beast. At least not in the sense most think of it.
What sort then?
I relay what Chris said.
Can I ask y'all a question?
Does this sorry, when Keswick speaks of this, does this ring any bells in my mind, like of summoning fiendish creatures?
No. You would know that it's a poison that can be produced in hell amazingly easily. But it is not something that is really used in their summoning. It's more of like simply because, spoilers, there's a lot of brimstone in hell. Everything smells like crap there.
Fair.
Thus, kind of, it just naturally occurs there and thus can naturally be used as a very easy to make poison by a number of its inhabitants. But it isn't something directly related to like fiendish summonings or the like, though it would be better handled by a creature that didn't maybe not suffer as poorly from poison.
Can Moonstone actually collect a couple like vials of this stuff?
It is soaked into the dirt. You could take the dirt that has died in it, but it's been 3 days.
Now, Chris, I have what might be a stupid question,
Mhm.
but they brought up the smell, and I know what it is. I am bound to the darkness and have advantage on those kinds of things. Can I smell it and follow a trail?
I will say sure. I was gonna give you guys a trail anyways, the natural 20, but smelling one is much more interesting.
As we
And
watch
I'll tell you-
Kessex go full bloodhound, yes.
Yeah.
He just gets on his hands
I
and
like to think that I
just go-
smell it. I'm like, it's this way, and then Grotus is like, well, yeah, he's not wrong.
Yeah.
I was imagining
that
Xavier was
tracks.
just like, Hey, I think there's something over there, and he just gets shoulder checked by a Keswick just sniffing the air, walking past them.
He's just on his hands and feet, just going.
God
I
damn.
saw it this way.
Points with one hand.
So dumb.
Listen, I like this image for a lot.
Get going, Scooby. Let's go.
Look, if I don't get a snack at the end of this, I'm gonna be disappointed.
Was
So
Scooby named after the snack, or was the snack named after Scooby?
Scooby was named after the snack.
Yep, it was official in the new movie. Anyways,
Oh,
Keswick, I
right,
guess
good
you can
one.
roll your new frickin' you can roll your whatever.
Oh well, he said we had a trail
Well, no,
anyway.
you guys were gonna. I was gonna give you a trail anyways on a
Okay.
nat 20. But I like the idea of Keswick's following it by a bloodhound is much funnier. And
Okay.
thus enjoying it that
So
way.
Grodus is about to point out a trail where we just have Keswick run out in front of him, bloodhound sniffing. Goes, well, you don't see that every day.
They really do grow them different everywhere, huh?
Hey, well, I mean, he's in the right trail, so follow Keswick's.
Yeah. Hey, don't go too far.
Yeah, sorry. Also, I feel bad. I didn't mean to steal your natural 20 thunder. No.
No, yeah, I think it's. Is it fine?
That's hilarious,
Go for
though,
it.
man. Let's go
Yeah.
for it. That's
Okay.
great.
I
It's
assume
not-
it might be, but
It is not my natural 20. It's everyone.
You got a 2.
attacks. So with that, with following the trail, you slowly watch as clearly whatever was moving Hellman most likely had difficulty, it seems, despite his small size. And there clearly was a bit of struggling later down the line, but you all begin to follow further this trail of your former employer, well, employer still, I guess, as it heads off, kind of curving southeast and then east, and that is where we'll take a 15-minute break.
Oh, good. I need to use the bathroom.
Yeet.
We will be back 5 minutes before the hour.
Sounds good. I will pause
Nice.
the game.
Following the trail, we are back, right?
Yep.
Not gonna-
Oh, excuse me. I thought I was muted. I'm sorry.
All good.
Xavier, are you there?
Yeah, I'm chilling.
Cool. So, following the path, as it lay. Ouch.
Man.
Following the path via the brimstone-esque smell that Keswick is adeptly able to follow, you all continue for some time, still weary and worn, but focused, hoping not to lose this trail. Progress for about almost an hour. At this point, the last traces of sunlight are starting to leave, vanishing beyond the tree line. Do you wish to progress into the night?
I think it's about time we'll set up camp.
So where are we see right now within the as the night fell?
Where are you? You're deep within the woods. You're kind of getting closer to. You're in the direction, like heading towards where town is. But you get a sense you're probably still maybe 3 hours away from it.
So 3 hours away from town.
From Teleburg, yeah.
Grodus
3 hours isn't bad.
Yeah, Grodus
We
is
really
going to turn
had-
to the party and goes, honestly, if we're only just around the near town, we should keep pushing forward. We're still trying to hunt down whoever took our employer, and this is the best place to get there. Besides, if we make it to town, then we don't have to worry about setting up camp.
It's fair.
With things walking around the woods, it's best.
I would like to sleep in a bed again.
You were in a
Yeah.
bed only a couple days ago!
And besides,
Days ago.
Xavier raises a hand, and the red sparks begin to emit from it before they turn into more of a white color before shedding light in the surrounding. I got this now. It took me a second. Kind of difficult to hold flames and heat and light without, killing something. So, pretty proud of myself.
As you
Oh, you mean-
light up like a Christmas tree, Grotus looks at you
What
and
is-
just kind of blinks a bit and goes,
Is this the light spell, by the way, or is this
Yeah,
dancing?
it's literally just light.
Okay. See, like a torch of lights in his hand.
Yep, as he looks like, that's great. As he looks around, making sure nobody's attacking us right away.
Also, just kind of side-eyeing if any other creature saw that, like a flash of wolf eyes.
Nothing that you notice.
Xavier
Oh,
takes
my
note of like everybody looking around. He says, "Right," and he slowly returns his hand into his pocket where it glows and then dies.
Gross is just gonna put a hand on your shoulder and says, it's a great spell to have, lad. Very useful to fight, but probably not the best at the moment, attracting attention and all.
Yeah, I was just thinking for at least Julius and I's case, we can't quite see inside of these environments.
Yeah,
they-
now you're sort of like a firefly.
Hey,
I mean, kind of where he was.
But, I mean, more just like glow, just woof.
Well,
Gallo for a second pauses as he hears Firefly, and then he groans.
well, like I said, I'm actually gonna be working on that for you soon here. So you can see better.
Oh, right.
well,
Yeah.
in any case, well, I think we're all agreed we'll push forward till we hit town then.
So, also, sort of random, but is that something that you just now picked up, or?
Yeah, just sort of now. It was kind of difficult because, I create fire, so I have to dim the heat while intensifying the light part, and it kind of gets a little bit difficult because most of the time the fire just wants to, shoot up at something. And it was kind of a bit difficult at first, but I kind of got the hang of it eventually.
It's not that. I finish things all the time, and I just show a little square box that has like a number of like little protrusions and whatnot and buttons.
I am sort of wondering if something happened after that battle, because I'm feeling a bit sturdier myself.
I don't know.
I feel
Iron
the same.
sharpens iron, so to speak.
Well, maybe we're just getting used to it.
Sorta. Yeah. I guess just going through the burns and whatnot. Of course, it still hurts. I don't know why, but I mean, got a better handle of things now.
Oh, Chris.
Yep.
I did forget to mention I was switching out my cap of water breathing with goggles of night vision for my infusions.
Sure.
Thanks.
There it's like Grotus looks at the rest and goes, anyways, let's keep moving forward. We have to get this, I want to see if we can get to town or at least find out who stole that employer before things get too, intense.
For sure. You follow the path. You follow the slight trail only available through through the smell of Sir Odd. Because you are relying on smell and not something that relates to light, you don't have to remake the check, as Sir Odd is easily able to follow it. As you progress further and further, dusk takes, and then finally, pitch night. As you all continue to walk and move forward. Is there any way you would like to take this, by the way? I may as well ask to approach this stealthily, or if you are walking brazen.
We need to walk slow because I can't see.
Julius will stay ahead of the group while walking.
You can't see.
It doesn't matter, he's gonna do it anyway.
Grotus will roll his eyes and just stand behind Julius, and every time he's about to step on something or hit a tree, just guide him away from it.
Sure.
Yeah, Moonstone was gonna basically do the same with Kessex and just more or less put his hand on his shoulder, just like, you're about to run on anything, I'll let you know.
Alright, thank you.
Gallo will.
Actually, I'll just sit on a horse with you because we have horses.
Yes, you do.
Yeah,
That's
we're.
a good idea.
I mean, that was our pairing, anyways, right?
Yeah, it was one.
Except we do have a lizard born now, so we can no longer pair, thus someone has to be on foot.
That's
Okay,
true.
well I can be.
Julius will do it.
Oh,
Grotus is on
fun.
foot as well. He's used to not riding.
I'm only saying that because you had rammed the horse into a tree, probably.
Probably.
Horse can't see either, so.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Basically, the new Grotus will go, New setup. Those of us with dark vision lead the horses.
On it.
Done.
Xavier reluctantly lets go of Callie's rein.
Those
So
of
we're
you
doing
without
this
dark
all on
vision,
foot.
stay on the horses.
All right.
Xavier enthusiastically regains Kelly's rein.
With that, as you all progress, riding the horses through the dead of night in the woods in hopes of finding your employers.
Yeah. He would also by the way, Gallo, keep an eye open. Yes.
Already on it.
Yeah, Moonstone's taking a look at out for anything as well.
For sure. As you all progress further and further, slowly but surely off in the distance, you begin to see a break in the darkness, light filtering through the trees as embers and flame dance in the distance. As you all start to make a slight approach, or look towards it, you see what looks to be two men, both of quite young age, dressed in what looks to be clothes, pitch black, and leather. You see each of them seems decently armed, wielding what looks to be a very large crossbow. They sit by a fire, lamenting the passing time that they are out. As you all approach, you are doing it on horseback and through the dark.
And Julius is also going to shout, "Hello there!"
Can you see
Hello.
them? I guess, yeah, you said
They-
there was
well,
light.
they-
Yeah.
They were going to be able to see you anyways as you were approaching. Also, you were on horses, which aren't quiet.
Yeah, well, we're also in heavy armor and everything
Yep.
else. We
There's
weren't
a couple
trying to be
things. There's a
stealthy.
couple.
Yeah.
There's a couple of things.
We got a 7-foot
You
tall
gotta-
lizard man woman with us. We weren't coming in stealthily.
The man, like one of the men, kind of looks up. This, he's got this kind of like curled hair on top and this slight kind of beard coming through just on his chin. He just goes, "Who's there?" Kind of like trying to get a better look, trying to see into the shadows there.
Julius Bondeclair and his compatriots.
Friends, we're friends.
Oh,
Howdy.
yes. He grins at that. Yes, friends.
Last folk who said that said friends too. Had to chase them off. What do you want?
Just pass
You
me.
had to chase off some friends?
We were just heading to
They
Teleburg.
weren't. Oh. You're a bit off the trail then, friend.
Are we?
Kinda...
Oh, sorry.
Has the trail been leading directly to these two?
Kessex. And
That was my
for a
question.
second, it's Grotus. From the scent and the travel, you do notice not far from where the men are, there is a kind of a cliffside, and in that cliffside, you see what looks to be a small opening into it. Two men are sitting pretty close to it. One kind of looks. You're a bit off the trail for Teleburg, but kind of turns around. Alter your course, go a bit further north. Think maybe 2 hours from now you'll reach it.
Well, that's a mighty help.
Thank you.
I'll give who's leading my horse, Moonstone.
Yeah.
Right. I'll give Moonstone a nudge and try to subtly point his direction towards the cave.
Just barely you can see it. It's kind of obscured by some brush, but the campfire light that they're sitting beside makes it easily visible.
Someone just kind of like give him like a little pat on his like a weight, like so the people can't see it, like on the other side of the horse. Just kind of let him know he catches on and just says, "Oh, thanks for letting us know."
Do they seem to be telling the truth?
Roll an insight check.
Nice.
You would know just from the fact of that you were just coming from Teleburg. Yeah, that's the direction Teleburg's in.
Okay.
Does it look like... For them, it seems like, yeah, of course, they're being quote-unquote helpful, but something doesn't sit right. Does it seem like it's more of a distraction? Or a diversion?
Yee.
Grotus.
I think that's pretty obvious.
I still want to do insight regardless.
It's okay. Roll an insight check. You get a sense they're not hostile to you. Just a bunch of strangers in the woods.
I'd like to not make an insight, but can I generally can I make can I generally scan the area of like if there are anything of interest, basically? Anything of interest on them? Is there like not traps nearby, but is there something odd around this area that I should be aware of in the case that we come back here?
For the sake of it, roll a perception check.
Oh.
6. Nothing you notice. The men are decently armed. The crossbows they have are quite large and heavy. You would say they are well equipped if they are hunting.
Okay.
But other than that, nothing else you know.
I have a question. We're in their campfire light, right?
Just at the very edges of it.
But I can see Grotus, right?
Yeah, to give a map.
Okay. I am paying attention to Grotus, and I am
You guys
ready
are
to
on
follow
the
his lead.
far left side. The two men are kind of looking towards you and see the hidden by some shrubbery, the cave entrance back here.
Grotus is just going to look over at the two men and kind of look back at the party and go, well, it seems like we got veered off the way. I'm sorry about that, everyone. As your guide, I totally fucked that up. Caperia, you said it was to the north was the city.
Wouldn't call it a city, but just change your course to go a bit more north. Keep going east. Should hit it.
Oh, well, that's very helpful.
Yeah, thank you, gentlemen. And I'll just flick one of them a silver piece.
Sure. You guys can see the map, right?
Yeah, but we can see it.
Yeah, you guys can put yourselves
Put a
on the left
token so you
side.
get.
Okay. Yeah, thanks. And move
Kinda
some plus
flick
a
it.
silver piece.
The guy kind of like watches the coin for a second. He doesn't manage to catch it exactly, but he does take the silver piece.
Thanks a lot, friend. And we're just going to slowly turn around and go back about 200 feet in the direction they pointed. Basically, where I'm pretty certain they're out of earshot, they're just going to turn to Gallo and go, Gallo, make sure they ain't following us.
Yeah.
Sure. For the sake of this gala, roll a stealth check.
I'm just making sure.
So, just to make sure, by the way, Teleburg is east. You guys asked for directions to Teleburg and then went back the way you came, which was west.
No. I went the direction where they pointed.
Okay.
Yeah, I
so
said
you guys
that,
would go past them. Okay, my bad.
Okay, so we have to go past.
Yeah, so
Sorry.
yeah, Teleburg is northeast of you.
Yeah, so like basically we're just gonna go in the keep going till we're out of sight and where I believe is a good distance out of earshot.
Yeah, easily
Because
done.
Grotus is pretty sure what just occurred is going on here, but it's better to plan ahead since they don't seem to be threatening yet, and they think we're just idiot travelers.
You're gonna ask
So far.
something, Zaku? Zaku?
Oh, hi.
You're gonna ask something.
Yeah. I as far as my stealth goes, I'm gonna. What I'll do is I will bring Xavier and his horse up to Moonstone. It's like, can you take care of him? I'm gonna stay in the back and just keep hidden.
I'll go it.
I wasn't the only one who thought they were slicker than owl shit, right?
Oh,
Xavier? No, they were perfectly fine, Xavier, and I was just gonna kind of go up to him and
you
kind of
guys are going.
200 feet away, guys.
Yeah, you guys went past. You're fine.
I know
now.
we're past. The reason I'm saying is that we don't know
Oh.
if they followed us, and then Grotus
You're
is
right.
being paranoid. We're not sure if they followed us, okay? Just play cool till we get back
He
from
was-
Gallo.
Don't worry, he was whispering that. But
Okay.
yeah, he's just... Yeah, that...
He'll just just I'll be back. I'll be around, and he will do his
Wait.
stealth.
Wait,
What?
hold on. You
What?
need a little help? I kind of got some for you. If
What
you
is
want.
it?
Well,
Stares at.
he can do a lot of things, and one of the things it can do is bolster one's own abilities. So I can make you actually a little bit more dexterous. Loosen the muscles of yours.
He considers it, and then after a moment of thinking, he'll say, "As of right now, I'll say, save it, since we're just," and he'll put on air quotes, hoping that Xavier can actually see those air quotes, but if not, he'll put a little emphasis in his voices. Since we're traveling back into town. We're not on alert quite yet.
Right.
So, but I'll keep that in mind. Thank you.
Right. Be safe, though.
Will do. And let me do my thing. 21.
Baby!
Fuck.
Hey, how long does the AC potion last, Michael?
I think an hour.
Would be
It's
gone.
gone.
Think it's worn off since that
No,
last
10
fight?
minutes.
10 minutes.
That's
Oh.
Oh yeah, that's gone.
Hold on. I dropped that dice. Hold on.
Oh no!
Okay. Okay. So, Gallo.
He's gonna stay within the trees, very much hidden from both the party and whoever may be following. But
Sure.
he's just gonna.
As you kind of move forward, approaching in the darkness, as you get closer to the camp, you do still see two men there. Seemingly talking amongst themselves. And you do notice every once in a while, one of them kind of like turns and looks towards. Doesn't seem to spot you. Kind of turns back, still talking nonchalantly with his fellow. You do notice at this point, both of their crossbows are now armed.
Okay. Wait.
Question-
So what's the?
Question for, I guess, to ask for both Zaku and ourselves. Are these men, were they human?
Yeah, both of them seem to be human.
And it is nighttime.
Yep.
Got it.
I was under the impression that I'm just following behind the group, just making sure no one follows us.
I thought you were...
No,
Yeah.
he's not heading back to camp. He's just kind of making sure no one, like either of those two or anyone else like them,
You
is
don't see anyone.
okay. He's gonna continue staying behind
Okay.
for the rest of the way.
Yeah, it's after we're certain out of earshot, about 5 minutes away, so they know they can't hear us. Groda stops the horse and goes, "Okay, you're right, Xavier. I'm pretty certain those were the ones that took our employer. I don't know if anybody else noticed the little cave they were guarding there."
Yeah.
Oh no, I noticed. Guessing's actually pointed it out.
Yeah, I thought it was mighty suspicious. Nice hunting, by the way. Just kind of nods over towards Kessex. In the general direction of where Kessex is.
That it's a group effort, and give a thanks to Grotus as well.
Grotus nods back. In any case, I'd bet pretty much copper to gold that our employer's in that cave.
I would tend to agree, but how ready for a fight are any of us?
Grotus looks over at the party. Well, we got two options here. We can try to take a rest, but honestly, if we take too long a rest, I worry that they're going to move. They saw us. They know we're here. They'll probably suspect we'll head back to town and are planning to get out of there ASAP.
I mean,
They hid that cave. I would assume they don't plan on moving. They plan on hiding.
If I might ask a question, why do we believe that they might have him?
oh, well, they were kind of on the road as to where that was, which the weird smell and whatnot, and then there was a cave over there, which kind of implies that the person that we're kind of going for, Hillman, might be held by these two. And not to mention they kind of gave us a quite indirect answer, kind of to throw us off the trail, even though we know exactly where the trail is.
Not to
That's
mention
what
the
I'm throwing.
trail literally ended there. When they moved
Yeah,
us
that
past,
too.
there was no trail past here.
Oh.
Yeah. I would personally more appreciate if we did take a longer rest. I don't want to get into a scrap without being able to pick someone back up if needed.
Yeah, but if they keep moving, I think they're not suspicious of us. I don't know, I could be wrong, but if we take too long, then
We
they're
lose
going
our
to be gone.
chance. Exactly.
You know what I do think, though? If we want to make sure that we get on them real quick, I mean, Gallo, you're pretty good at striking when least expecting. You might be able to open up the combat for us if we do. I don't think we should kill him, though. Just saying.
Well, here's the problem, then. if we do get into a fight with them, chances are it's going to lure who's ever in that cave out to fight us, and I'm not sure, based on what happened to Sickle here, if we can handle that without taking our rest first. I ain't going. My magic's a bit tapped for the day.
Gallo will Oh, sorry. Continue.
How are our big men going? And he just kind of slaps Grotus on the shoulder.
I'd admit if we took an hour off, I'd be back up to tip-top shape. But I suppose if we want to take a short rest, but the thing is, I don't think we could sleep this one in there. If we wait 8 hours, I'll bet money they'll be gone in the morning.
Well, we could have.
They only need to keep him away for the 7 days to claim the contract. I believe that's all this is.
I agree with you on your assessment there, Xavier. The fact of the matter is that if we don't move now, we'll probably lose them. They saw us. They know we're heading towards town, and they saw us at the road. If I was them, I'd move my target out immediately, just because it's not worth the risk to stay around.
I can trust that judgment.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. Like I said, if one of us goes down, I'm not sure what. And I point over to Julius. I'm not sure what he's got left in his tank, but I'm running on empty here.
I'm all tapped.
That's what I'm saying. Because, trust me, Grotus, I completely understand why you want to keep pushing. But, I mean... and he kind of rubs a little bit at his arm, and a little wisp of steam kind of comes up. I'm not sure exactly how ready all of us are.
I believe there is a medium ground option. We set up camp and watches close enough that we can get our rest and keep eye. If they move, we can follow.
Gallo will pipe up from as he's the group knows that he's around, but he still has been staying within the tree line in his stealth. But he'll his voice pops up from somewhere close by. I agree. We can camp here. I don't think they expect us to. Well,
it
is only 2 hours away. It'd be strange for us to camp suddenly when we're so close. But at the same time, we do have injured.
I was gonna say let's not set up a campfire, but stay in the dark.
Yeah, we might have to.
We definitely have to do that. But the fact
Julius
is,
mumbles under his breath, I really want you to sleep in a bed, but okay.
The fact of the matter is that we're going to have one person always watching that group to make sure they don't break camp.
At least one? Or can't we, I don't know, do watches, but like on them specific?
Grotus looks around and sighs. Unfortunately, if they're smart, they'll put out that fire, meaning only 3 of us can actually, or I guess, what Grotus? I guess with Sickle. Does Sickle look like they can see in the dark?
You roll an insight check or a nature check, your choice.
I'll take nature. I'm better at it.
Sure
Slightly.
thing.
We can just ask
6. Yeah.
6? You can assume not.
Gallo will say, well, we could have 3 of us to watch. That's all we need. And, well, looks over to Sickle. Do you have dark vision?
You watch as the head turns and it's slightly off of you.
God. Almost there, buddy. Almost there. Alright, I'll take that as
Grotus kind of lets out a sigh, goes, exactly. So there's only 3 of us that can actually keep track of that camp if they move in darkness. I mean, on the other hand, maybe not.
Well, there only need be 3 of us for, like, I don't know, are we sleeping through the night, or?
Yeah.
We keep watch within range. We just have to be stealthy enough to not be seen.
And that is our second problem, as Grotus looks down at himself.
Well, now, that won't be a problem. And for Xavier just kind of almost springs up just like a little bit. And without actually emanating much light, there's a very soft glow of reddish white that appears in his hand. I might be able to fix that for you, just a bit.
Hey, how you plan to do that?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of new, but I'm pretty confident on.
Well, if you think we can, then the three of us will have to stealth up and watch their camp from a distance, making sure they don't move our target. Unfortunately, that does mean the camp's going to have to be rather close to them too, so we can get this going immediately.
Yeah. And for the rest of you who could sleep the rest of the night, I can set up a little perimeter for you that can give a little tick in my head to make sure that, you're all fine.
Yeah, so here's what I'm thinking, right? When you're going, Grotus, I can go ahead and do my little thing, but I think I might be better staying here, right? Just making sure we're on the same page.
I don't think it'll be much use scouting up ahead for that.
Yeah.
Probably best too if I take either the last watch or the first watch. Either we fuck this up at the beginning or we fuck it up at the end.
I think the end might be better.
Gallo speaks up again, still in the tree line. I'm already on it. I can take first one.
Fair enough.
That reminds me though. Your bill. Do you think you're gonna need it for tomorrow?
For this, most likely.
For
But
the enhancements.
Why? What's your plan?
Well, in case things get dark. Nah, it's gonna take too long. Never mind. Keep the bow for now.
If things get too dark, we have light for here now.
Not to mention, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but my sword fucking glows.
Yeah, at the cost of cutting
Yeah.
your damn self.
I've already activated it.
Grotus
So-
is gonna sigh, goes, you realize the problem with fighting in the dark with glowing swords, right?
It's all the better to hit me with, right?
Aye, but let's say that as plan B.
Oh, for sure. I'm not I don't plan on. I'm just saying, is if we get into a fight, we have light.
Fair enough.
Xavier just gives Keswick a companionable clap on the shoulder.
Jeez.
Alright.
In any case, I think we're all ready then. Yes, anyways, Gallo, you go up and take ahead, I'll go search up ahead first. And I guess while Gallo keeps an eye, we'll set up a quick, 10-second campsite nearby.
Okay. How
Yeah.
close are you trying to be to them?
No, we're about 5-minute walk from them right now.
Sure, that's good.
I
And
Well,
Gallo, he won't be anywhere near, but basically just close enough within his vision, I guess. Well, not even past it, honestly. Just make sure that he can see the two that he knows are there and their campfire.
Yeah, and the plan is if we see them starting to break camp, immediately run off to grab everybody else too, so we can stop them from moving.
Sure
Yeah,
thing.
so
that's-
not
that's
close
the plan.
enough to
Yeah.
be in danger. Just more of just seeing if they move, and if they
Sure.
don't move, then it's all
And
fine.
to be fair, if the fire's still there, we should be able to keep a fair distance and keep an eye on them.
Some pause.
Yeah.
and
I would say for this, because there's the fire, whoever's doing the watches and attempting to watch them can choose to either make a stealth check or a perception check in order to keep eyes on them. Stealth isn't getting close enough you can constantly tell where they are. Perception being you are staying at a distance where they can't see you, but because you are knowing where to look, you can see them.
Fair enough.
Since I'm taking first watch and I had already been in a stealth, can I do a perception?
No, it would be re-entering stealth because you didn't
okay.
remember you wanted to do it behind the people, and now you're
Oh,
going close
yeah.
to them.
Okay.
I'll just say, while I wait for the rest of you, just a little added protection, and I will start ritual casting, taking out a silver wire and whatnot. I will ritual cast alarm.
Easy enough.
What is that?
Okay.
Set the wire around the camp.
Basically, if God, now I'm feeling like you. No, basically, if anyone here tries to sneak up on us, I'll be able to tell. As long as they cross this threshold.
It's mighty nice. That's security. Alright, thank you.
Yep.
Able to sleep a lot better now.
Well, if someone attacks from a range, you're still kind of screwed.
Thanks for letting me know. It's noticeably begins to fidget.
The alarm at that point would be us screaming.
Yes.
So I will say...
He
oh,
fidgets
sorry.
more.
So,
Uh,
yeah.
Yeah, sorry. You go, Heath.
I was going to say, when Zaku goes there, think, Chris, just for the sake of this, even if it costs me a point of exhaustion, I will take a short rest before going into a long rest. So while Zaku's off, I would like to take a short rest for Grotus right now,
Okay.
and then move into a long rest. So if the ambush does happen, I've had a short rest.
Oh.
And like
Okay,
if they
I get
move,
what you're going for.
yeah. So even if it costs me a point of exhaustion, I don't get a full night's sleep.
It-
I will take the point of exhaustion if the things occur.
I would say you could either choose to make a con save against a DC of 13 to see if you get a point of exhaustion. And that'll be, you'll wake up at the same time as everyone else, or you can kind of extend your rest a bit longer in order to be prepared for the night, but have to kind of wait a bit more in the morning.
I'll take the
Choice
con
is
save.
yours.
I'll take the con
Okay.
save risk and
So we'll
see
do
what
that
happens.
then
Right.
at the end.
Okay.
Grotus seems like a con man, so that's not a bad choice.
So yeah,
Hey,
DC
look-
13. Remind me of that if I forget.
I will. I will take my short.
DC
I'll just
8,
roll my
got
hit
it.
dice now.
So, Gallo, you need to roll me a stealth check.
And before he
God.
goes,
No,
Roll a
he,
D4,
oh no!
I have to re-roll, so I have the
Yeah.
screw up. Or it's got a D4.
Oh,
What the
thank
fuck is a
God.
DD4.
Plus, it's not giving me a +3, so it was
Nope.
obviously screwy.
Okay. But before he heads
shoot,
off,
that was the
he
wrong
mentions Xavier's name. And just Xavier.
What?
There's no guarantee that I'll be successful, but
I have faith
the
in
thing
you.
that you mentioned, well, the thing that you mentioned earlier.
You're considering it.
I'm considering for the others. It looks like Grotus may need help with that, so save it for him,
Yeah.
just in case.
Yeah, I kind of tried it a little bit, like a bit before. It burns the hell out of my hand, but yeah, I can do it for the others. I got about 2 of them in me.
We'll
Just to check, by
pause
the
for a
way,
moment.
That's imbuing touch that you're doing, or
Oh, it's enhanced ability.
oh, okay, you're casting hands. Okay,
Yeah, I could live that myself.
Ah,
so
Yeah.
you're doing it without enhanced ability, Gallo. You're attempting to make a stealth check. You said,
yes.
sure thing.
Oh boy.
You feel? Oh,
23, 12. So, as you move your way forward, kind of watching and looking towards it, you see them. They're clearly keeping an eyes out. See them passing a water skin, most likely not filled with water, you're guessing, by the rate at which they keep wanting to drink from it.
Scandalous.
It's obviously milk for their bones, guys.
P.
Yeah.
Xavier, I'm going to kick you in a second. So, watching them for maybe an hour or two, nothing. They're simply keeping their own watches. Watching,
Okay.
waiting. They don't move.
In that case, nothing else is odd about them. Same shit, they've just been sitting there the entire time. Is he, I guess from this distance, would he be able to hear any conversation off of them?
For the sake of it, roll a perception check. Bit difficult, kind of trying to keep out of camp light while also listening in, but not impossible. 6. Impossible. Casual conversation is all you kind of hear. Every once in a while, one of them seems to make a quip that you don't quite catch, but the other one seems to find it funny and gives kind of just a quick laugh to it. But nothing, unfortunately, that you are able to hear.
Okay,
All right.
we'll stay there for a bit longer. A little past the end of his watch, just in case he catches anything else. The music is going funky. There it is. Nope, it's gone. Okay, and
It's the
then
same
he
here.
will,
That's
maybe bring it back, like take out the bot, retake the bot. But nothing happens, so he will head back to camp, and he will. I assume Grotus is still awake. For he
It
did
was only
this-
for an hour
Okay.
for the short rest, so by the time he got back, I
Oh,
would have been
okay.
back to sleep.
All right. In that case, yeah, he'll go to Moonstone next and give his shoulder a light tap.
Come on.
Yep. All right.
Nothing to report. They're just same position as before.
Nice. All right. Do you think Xavier could do that thing?
Well, he said he had 2 of them, so I suppose, and he'd be sleeping already.
Yeah, sure.
You can go and ask him.
Yeah. I'll just go over to Xavier and just very quietly just sort of wake him up.
He is currently sleeping in on his stomach, but in a inchworm position. His butt is in the air.
Just kind of very lightly tap him, just like, hey, shh, just Gal said you had something that can make this easier.
He kind of like stares at you for a moment, or in the direction of you, I should say. And he just, what did I say I could do again? Right, okay. Yeah.
I don't know.
Can you? He just puts out his hand because he can't quite see. He like does it like 10 degrees to the right.
Well, what can you do? Just make me better at something? Or...
Oh, yeah, right. Learned heat has a lot of applications, and I can just about make a lot of the things that you can do better. What are you trying to be? Stronger, faster? What's happening?
More perceptive.
Right. Okay. Do note it might make you have a dry eye after a little bit, but give me your hand.
I gave him my hand.
And you will see that red sparks and white sparks begin to basically flow from his palm and then begin to cover your own. And in that little bit, you feel your eyes that were once about the same temperature with the surrounding air, the colder air, begin to suddenly intensify with a pleasurable heat. But in that way, everything just has a slight red tinge. Just suddenly, everything just seems to be more clear to you, images and whatnot.
Nice. All right. Thanks. I'll be back.
Yeah. Just make sure it lasts for about an hour or so.
All right. Go for that.
And before Gallo goes to sleep, just put your ass back down before someone slaps it. Namely me.
He's just kind of looking in the direction because he doesn't really know where the voice came from. But he's just like, yeah. And he just kind of sits in silence. He just fidgets to himself a little bit before lying back down.
Moonstone shakes his head and goes off to the camp.
So, attempting, which way do you wish to try? Perception or stealth?
Perception.
For sure.
Because now I have advantage on that.
You'll be about 100 feet from the camp. You can attempt to stare through. Passing by, roll your perception. With advantage. I'm aware it's gone. Wasn't working.
Thank God.
12. It's difficult to see. Grogginess still holds on to you. But from what you can tell, they're still there. The campfire still burns. Every once in a while they add more kindling to it. Seemingly passing the time however they can. Start to hear just slightly what sounds like the scraping of...
Scraping of what?
I don't know. Judah's asking, should I do it? I don't know what he's...
Oh, put on the music again.
No,
I can do
it's
that.
fine. You don't need to.
Okay.
No, because it wasn't working was the issue.
Yeah.
Scraping of what?
Scraping of what sounds like metal on a whetstone.
Okay.
But other than that, the 12, unfortunately, nothing else you notice.
Alright. While... Do I have the chance while doing this to work on my book, or would this take up all my attention?
Yeah, it would really be...
Nah, I gotcha.
Yeah.
This is why I'm asking. Alright. Once my watch is over, I'll head back over to Rhodus and just be like, alright, sounds like they're still there.
Okay. And I'll once again walk over to Xavier.
Oh, he is now flat as a board on his back.
Grotus just looks at him and just kind of nods his head and just kind of prods him slightly.
And then like he kind of like slowly opens his eyes, like sniffs the air just a little bit, and then immediately, almost in recognition, he just turns over to you. He's like, "Yeah,
Oh, yeah, you know it's me. That's great. I was just hoping you said you could do something to make me a little better out there.
yeah. What did you want again?"
Probably best if I stay back. If you can make me more perceptive so I can see him from a distance, that'd be most appreciated, friend.
Yeah. Bring your face down here. And
Sure.
just kind of like he's like still laying down.
Curtis
Is
just
enhance
leans.
ability concentration, by the way?
Ooh, it is.
No, he wouldn't be. He would not be sleeping while this is happening. So he
Oh.
is staying up.
So you'd be staying up for the additional
2 hours.
2 hours?
Is it potentially okay if Xavier can do the whole Constitution check thing?
I'll
with that,
allow it.
Yeah. Sorry, I became self-aware of that as well. I was like, oh shit, wait a second.
I just thought of that. I was, yeah.
Thank
as
you.
well.
But yeah,
It is
he just
Constitution,
goes ahead and kind of puts his hand directly over Grotus's face, and that same effect kind of begins to sparkle and flow into his eyes before he removes it and just kind of lets it fall to his side. And he just rolls onto his side and just kind of sits there with his eyes just like blinking slowly. Hurry back. Ugh.
Hey, and Grotus will wander up and do his perception check.
For sure. Perception check with advantage.
20.
20.
Nice.
Keeping an eye out, you do notice something different than, unfortunately, that seems in the Moonstone Mist. Looking forward, it seems that the men there weren't the ones that you saw at the beginning. And also, there seems to be a third man, not far off from the camp, but but a little ways away.
A little man?
Now, a little ways away.
Okay, sorry. A third man just a little ways
He's
away.
about over here. Give an
Okay.
idea.
Whoops. Sorry, guys.
It's good. You got a 12. It wasn't like a total failure.
No,
You
you're out of
didn't
the
notice
group now.
the swapped of watches.
Where was the third person? I missed. I was zoomed in.
It's okay. So Grotus notices the third person. It kind of doesn't look like they're all still set up the camp, though. It hasn't looked like they've been breaking camp or anything.
Definitely doesn't look like they've left, and the people there are still dressed as you saw the other ones, dressed
Nice.
in pitch black.
Yeah. So basically, what I'm seeing
leathers.
is they're changing of the guards like we've been doing.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
You get a sense very much, yeah, they're keeping a watch outside and switching people out. You'd guess for a time, probably maybe every 4 hours or so.
That would make sense. That's generally when we do it. So Grotus is kind of nods. He's like, okay, it looks like they're still here.
They are, in fact, still there.
Do I hear anything in particular that I can pick up with a 20?
With a 20, you are a decent ways away, though, because you have to be farther away.
That's fair. Yeah. It's like
than for the
anything. Like,
stealth.
yeah,
gotta
Grotus isn't
talk-
going to stealth close.
yeah.
I was just wondering if I heard like a specific word, or maybe if they were perhaps
Not.
not taking their watches seriously and were drinking and singing roariously. You never know.
Oh. You
Uh,
can definitely notice that they seem to be drinking a bit. Though while it does lower the number of them that aren't inebriated, it still seems that one of them at all times isn't.
okay.
Yeah, I'll say you're able to get that with a 20.
Yeah, well, I will continue waiting, and then when the watches are about to end, and I'm sure everybody's got their full sleep, I will wake up the party and say it's time to move.
For sure. With that, at the very break of dawn, when still the sun hasn't even made it into the sky yet, you are able to do so. I will need both you and Xavier to make Constitution saving throws.
Here comes the failures.
It's very possible. That's what you
Hey.
got.
Oh,
Yeah,
19, I'm okay.
19, you're all right.
Hey!
You're a bit groggy, but
Fear.
overall, nothing worse.
Hey!
Xavier, yeah, managing as well. Both very
Nice.
Good rolls.
I'm getting these late. Ooh, but
You all get a long rest and
Feels
once
good,
again have all your features, abilities, and spells ready to be used.
I had those out of
Somebody
short
want to
rest.
remind me how many? Yeah, I get all mine back on short rest too. But how many hit dice do we get back on short rest? It's half, right?
Half your hit dice, half your total, yep.
Thank you.
Wait, so we don't get all of our hit dice back? Or
Only half your
we
total
do?
back. If you use them all up, then you only get 2 back.
Okay, so I get like one more.
So
Oh,
Grodus wakes up the...
It's half your total, so you have 4. So
Yeah, you get 2
I
right
have
now.
4?
You have 4 total, so you get 2 back at a long rest right now for you, Zaku.
Zaku, I know you
Oh.
leveled up, but did you level up?
I used the character. Oh no, I didn't use the character. Oh, I know what I did wrong. Okay, yeah.
Do that.
I was, and then I canceled it. Either way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in any case, Grodus will wake up the party, kind of nudge him awake. Okay, everybody, we got to get moving quick before they break camp or anything.
Are we gonna tie the horses up here, or are we?
Probably best.
Okay.
He's gonna look over to our lizard-born Fred. It's like, are you ready for a scrap with us, or are you gonna be out of this?
I can kill if needed.
Good to
Well,
know.
soon as turned on.
I don't think as soon as aroused. I don't think that's gonna be necessary, but I mean,
Honestly,
well.
if we're gonna get in a scrap, we're gonna at least have to knock him out, if not kill him, I'm sure.
All right. Well, either way, Gallo,
Hmm.
do you think you might be able to go ahead and kind of start off the competition for it?
If you can, if you can handle it quietly, I can actually change my visage to look like one of them.
I
He's
don't think
gonna look
that'll be
this-
necessary.
Don't think that'll work either. You might look like one of them, but I don't think you'll sound like one of them.
No, I mean, okay, first off, we can do a killer impression. Second off, I mean, if we take them out quietly, I can just dress as, I can make myself seem like one of them and then walk in.
And if they ask you your name,
I'll improvise.
oh, really? That'll be great. I think the fact of the matter is, we're better off going in and just taking them out.
Yeah,
I don't think we're
found
going to
it-
be able to kill. There was 3 of them when I lost last time. Gallo's good, but he's not going to kill 3 of them without being noticed. They're going to set
They
the
use-
alarm off the second that arrow goes off.
Yeah, they use blades and poison to kidnap somebody. I mean, they damn near tried to kill Sickle over here. We're not getting out of this without a scrap.
Exactly. I know. Y'all understand what I'm saying, right? You know,
Oh,
he
I was-
does a lot better unexpected. So.
I
No,
was
no.
talking to Moonstone.
I
right.
see.
Okay.
I think our best bet is Moonstone, though. Your little word thing with 100 feet, that'll be best. Keep in contact, Gallo, if you can sneak ahead and strike one of them at a distance with your bow. Tell us when you do so. Let me get myself prepped up, because honestly, it takes me a sec to get myself into full fighting gear. Probably be best that way.
Honestly, as soon as I shoot one, you'll probably get a signal from them as is.
Fair enough. But I would
will
prefer
do.
to set my abilities off, then you shoot one is what I'm going for.
So, get into position.
And then
Wait
when
for
I,
your signal.
Aye, which will be Moonstone telling you to shoot the son of a bitch.
Well,
All right.
well, I could also, there's a chance I could probably take one out, and I pull out a dagger, and I also pull out this weird-looking contraption that has this big cylindrical opening on the top and a big cylindrical opening on the side, with a button on the side of it. It's like, and it just kind of like picks up a rock, puts it in there. I'll probably take one of them out with this.
Probably. Can you get close enough? As he looks at your chain clank, clank, clank armor.
Now, I'm actually fairly quiet when I try to be.
He actually is. Where will the rest of you be, though?
We'll be about
So I understand position.
60 feet away from you. You move up yourselves up in the bow range and strike.
All right. Are you going to surround the perimeter, or are we all staying in one section? Might be good to spread out.
Fair enough. I'll come in from the south. So I'll loop around and come in from the south.
Well, if we surprise them, we might be able to do this quiet. We might be able to take them on quietly enough to. Yeah,
Never going to happen. But in any case,
We can
Well,
at least try.
I can come in from the east, closer to the fire pits, and it'll look to the rest, see where they want to go.
so I'll come in
probably.
from down here.
Sure.
I could probably come in from around. Actually, this cliff face, how high is it?
It's probably about 30 feet high.
Could I get around to a point where they can't see me and climb to the top of it?
Yeah, sure.
I could probably attack him from up top the cliff.
Yeah, I was actually wondering about that too, because it looks high, but I mean, like, eh. If I'm stealthing while climbing, but if I were to climb that cliffside and then start stealthing, would that not take away my walking speed?
Climbing for you is different because you're not a tabaxi. You have to make a
I
check
see.
to do it, and you'll be moving at half speed up.
I have
but
climbing
like-
speed of 20, which means
Doing
I
it preemptively is different. Like if you could attempt to do it, if you fail, well, then it's what falling off a cliff sounds like.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
what I'm saying is, what I'm saying is, I just move far enough away to where I can climb it without risk of being seen. Move onto the edge behind them, and then so they're obviously not going to be looking my way and up.
Can I ask y'all
Okay.
something?
Mhm.
Kind of a weird specific question, but how good are the lot of y'all against poison?
I'm actually really good against it, to be honest.
Yeah, I deal with dangerous chemicals all the time. It's kind of used to it.
About the same as any other person. Not that great.
I can neutralize them.
Xavier gets this almost not wicked, but kind of inquisitive smile on his face. Well, I think I might have something to fix that. Kessex, you too? Or
No, poison works quite well on me, yes.
then I got an idea. And he will begin to create that same reddish white on his hand, and he kind of rubs his hands together. Two of you, come here. Gallo, Kessex.
Mm-hmm.
And with his hands, he'll like at first he's about to touch them, but he just kind of looks over towards Grotus and closes his hands. And says, we're going now, right?
Aye, like probably right now if we've all got our
All right.
positions in together.
And he will go ahead and put his hand on both of their backs, and just immediately you feel your entire body just fill with this almost singeing heat that you feel should burn you, but instead it kind of strengthens you instead. Let's see. I believe there's another. Yes, there is. What else? So I don't know how you want to do this, Chris, but I'm giving them. I'm giving them Bear's Endurance. So I don't know
You
if
can
they roll
only
the
hit
2d6.
one person, Judah.
Well, if he's
Twin
his
spell?
parts are
Oh, twin cell. You're right. Yep.
I'm evil.
Sure,
Dolphin noise.
it gives him the extra health.
No,
the 2d6
do they roll the
temporary?
2d6 or?
Either or, it doesn't matter.
I guess I will.
I'll let you do it, man.
Oh, so much faith. You
I'm
shouldn't have.
excited. This is great for the right.
4, wonderful.
That's
Dude.
all I'll need.
No, I did it
Temporary
less for
hit
the I did it less for the THP, but more so for the Constitution saves in case we need
It's
to.
not saves, unfortunately. It's just checks.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
man. So that's not going to help with the poison at all.
That means that after the battle, you can drink to your heart's content.
Certainly does, so long as you're still constant. Sure.
Wait, so this 4 is for both of us?
You get
Oh,
four
yeah.
hit
Or
extra hit
absolutely
points.
4 temporary
Gallo.
hit points.
Yeah.
Should I roll for the both of them instead, or?
I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
So you both gain 4 temporary hit points.
Just as a note, if any of you do happen to get poisoned, you can come to me and I can.
Well, I haven't. Actually, hold on. I'm not sure what you're going on about this poison stuff, but I was thinking, Julius, you can hit pretty hard with that lightning bolt thing you got there, right?
Lightning bolt? Oh,
That-
oh, yes, my guiding bolt, yes.
That's what it's called. Well, I can keep us all in contact with each other. If I climb up to the cliff, obviously they're not going to be able to see me if I'm on my belly, crawling along. I can keep everyone in contact, and I can more or less give a signal for 2 of us to go and make strikes, and then once you see people go down, you can make yours, and maybe we can get all 3 of them down before they can make a sound.
I suppose that would work. Yes, I could do that.
I wouldn't bank that we'll take them all down in one shot, but we can try, I guess.
I mean, what's the worst case scenario?
We all miss. They come out with us with 100 guards that we didn't see coming. You're all separated in different scenarios, and they strike you down one at a time.
So you're saying that we should all hit together?
Yeah, I'm saying, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, we get a good surprise round in, and maybe if we take this down like professionally, we can, end this before it starts. So I can message Gallo, make sure he and I are synced up, and then once you see those two go down, you can come in with your bolt before he can react. Just have it at the ready.
Just to be clear, we are killing these people, or are we?
Yeah, because you cannot do non-lethal damage from range.
Ooh. I mean, this. Okay.
Yeah, that's just one of the standard rules is you shoot, you kill.
Yeah, with
Because
that
it's-
realization, Julius kind of like looks between everyone. There's like kind of curious brow. Wait, are we planning on actually killing them?
I don't think so.
I mean, I could draw an arrow to their knees and knock them out, but I just wanted to be clear on this.
The fact
What
of the
is
matter
the plan?
is if we're going to go in stealthily, we either have to kill them all, otherwise they'll just scream in pain, summon everybody. So we got one of two options.
Not if we knock them out.
Which you can't do unless you get right up next to them. You can't really knock someone out with a bolt to the back of the head.
I am changing my support for this idea.
Well, if you would like to go up to them and knock them out yourself, you can lead out everyone else, and essentially you will be taking hits. Unless someone else also wants to join him in that.
You know what? I hate to say this, but maybe we have we're not looking at a third option here. Julius, you don't want to kill these people, is what you're saying, right? At least unless they try to kill us.
Precisely.
Fair. So how about we variation on the goblins? And I'm just going to clap you on the back of the shoulder. Why don't you go up and see if you can have a conversation with them while the rest of us are there for support and things go haywire for you.
So what's the story?
He looks towards the group of people, and then kind of looks towards Grotus, knowing that he's testing him. He knows that he's not dumb, and he will sort of harden his expression, puff out his chest, and go, "Fine," and start walking forward.
Oh, wait. Let's get in position.
He's walking.
I grab him by the back of his armor. I'm like, let us get in position first.
Listen,
Alright.
It'll
we're
only
letting
take a
you
couple
have
of
this
seconds.
chance, but at least let us have the position in case things go haywire, because we don't want you going down.
Actually, Grotus is going to sigh and go look at him and goes, actually, to be honest, you all get in position. I'll be the bodyguard, and I'm going to go up with you, because there's no point of me stealthing.
Alright, well, give us a minute to get in position first.
Yeah, the further you get in position, we'll head up forward together. I'll be your... And you're never allowed to say this. I'll pretend to be your servant.
Well, shit, if I thought they were going on a diplomatic mission, I would have done something for you. God damn it.
Now, it's not diplomatic. I think we're just trying to use this to gain the element of surprise.
Julius is like not listening. He's tense with fear, but there is resolve in his eyes.
Alright, give us 3 minutes to get in position.
Okay, as you guys get into position, you guys can roll your stealth checks to get in position, I guess.
They just yell out a quick, "You're gonna do great," towards Julius before he runs off.
I hear it. Crossbow bolts are fired.
By the way, Chris, does it help that I'm climbing this cliff face in terms of my stealth because they can't actually see me if I'm like a few feet off of it?
It might affect it, but you are still. It sounds like you're still wanting to get close to them. Yes.
Within 60 feet.
It's still going to be a stealth check.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. Yeah, I would like to get in range where I can at least run up if shit goes bad. But
Sure.
before I get there, I am going to activate my Crimson Right.
Okay.
I'm gonna do the storm one this time.
Okay.
Please take approximately 4 hit points.
No,
Yeah.
he's gonna take 1 this time.
Well, yeah.
That'd be
Now that
wonderful.
I'm prepared for it, so
Nope,
There's
4.
yep.
Are you sure you're rolling?
Thanks, Xavier.
Welcome. Looks like it. Sure. So you'll be wanting to attempt to move within 40 feet of one of them. So you'll have to roll me a stealth check as well. For Gallo and for Xavier.
Oh, great.
I'd leave
Go help me.
my.
Crying. That's not terrible.
That's
You
not
guys doing
bad.
okay. You
I'm
guys
gonna
doing
stay
okay.
like within my bow range, so I guess like that was
I think
80
that's
feet.
80 feet. So yeah, still need a stealth check. Sure.
Wow, you got pretty stealthy for the most part.
Somebody's
So-
gonna notice me.
No, we're group stealthing. It's okay.
So, as you all kind of start to get into positions, eventually the 3 minutes pass. Grotus and Julius.
Okay, you ready for this, Julius?
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry, lad. And it's gonna smack you on the back. I got your back. You'll be safe. Just be confident. Just be yourself. Chat to him. See if we can get any information out of him. Maybe this can end with no bloodshed. You never know.
I'm gonna have a message at the ready to tell Gallows to take the shot.
Meanwhile, as we about to walk out, I will activate my my rune of frost, my Is rune, to up my strength by 2 for 10 minutes as we
Okay.
walk towards them.
Sure thing.
No, I won't use it. Yeah, I'll continue.
All right. For the sake of this, put for the two of you, just put yourselves in which direction you want to be coming from.
Probably from the south. That way, everybody as far away from the rest of the party as possible.
It'll be somewhere over here.
So, as the two of you approach brazenly, your armor chattering, giving clear indication to you, you kind of watch as the man who was leaning against the rocks kind of rose one of his eyes, clearly a bit tired. Kind of, you watch him stand up, having one hand on a large crossbow that kind of sits at his side. Can I help you two?
Kind of schooling his features and putting on a bright smile, he strides on forward. It's just like, yes, hello. Are they the same guys from...
No, they are different people.
Okay. Julius just takes a step forward. Alright. I would prefer sort of just cutting to the chase here. We've got a good number of people with a line of sight up on this area, and whoever is paying you to get involved with all this, we sort of figured that it's not worth the coin, and we'd prefer, well, we're going to give you the opportunity to sort of just continue on so we can get our work done without any issue.
Crotus is just going to give him the Stewie head
You
turn.
hear the two other guys loading crossbows. For the sake
Take
of
the
it, I'll
shot.
let you roll a persuasion check. Oh, you're taking a shot?
Oh no!
What?
Wait. Hold on.
Let me do my perception.
I'll let this play out first.
Oh,
Oh,
Oh dear.
I feel like this is
12.
more of intimidation, to be fair.
It's not in the way you phrased it.
So politely. If you would
Rotus,
kindly said
Want to
that,
help?
watch
We
him
won't
like
do it.
let the guy closest to you like kind of like lets the crossbow sit and takes out this mace off the side of his belt. He looks to you and it's like,
Take a
Avalok,
shot.
you better take your man-child and get lost.
I will cast a message and I will just say to Gallo and just be like, take the shot.
He just
it
he
looks
will
like
wait a bit longer. Just a minute longer. Sorry,
Yeah.
continue.
You watch. He's got this mace, this like heavy like cudgel like mace, and you see the other two guys both have crossbows loaded and are just kind of staring towards you.
again looking affronted at being called a man-child. And he quickly like kind of shakes it off for a moment, though still looking quite offended. It's just like, yeah, I'm sure that you do not want to make a whole problem out of this, and we do not want to make a whole problem out of this. So how about sort of just a man on man, just to see how this will turn out?
Grodus once again just starts rubbing his bridge of his nose, like, I can't believe this has gone on this way.
All he kind of looks to you.
Go ahead.
Moonstone is messaging Gallo, just be like, seriously, are you taking the shot or
Take the
not?
shot. Take the shot. Take the shot.
You can respond.
He kind of looks to you.
You can respond. Tell me, are we taking the shot?
So are you talking to Grodus? Grodus is just rubbing his
No,
nose.
I'm talking to Gallo.
You're talking to Gallo, okay.
He's just like, wait, I kind of want to see this.
He's
I do.
confused. He's tired. And he's like, "What the fuck are you on about, boy?"
I think it means
Sorry, Master! Grodus is going to step forward. The boys had a bit of damage to their head. The Master's a bit on the dense side.
Julius gets an annoyed look to his face at that, kind of glancing at you, Grodus, and then back at this man again, taking one step forward, still like not in an aggressive manner, just a let's talk this out sort of manner. It's just like, as I said, I will cut to the chase. We know that you are involved with something. I'm not going to go into details for the sake of perhaps any eavesdroppers, we don't know. But basically, we are dealing with a bit of coin ourselves to take care of what you have your hands on. And so rather than make a big mess out of this, we are offering the opportunity for you to not get involved, walk away, perhaps find an even better job somewhere with more coin. And if you are in disbelief that we have any sort of upper hand in how this will turn out, I am offering this one-on-one for you to sort of see for yourself. That way, there's no issue.
I'm gonna kill him.
The guy's looking at you, and the two guys, like, they have crossbows ready, and they're kind of not really sure. It's like, so let me get this straight. You're offering to me to kick the shit out of you, and then you'll do what?
If you believe that you can, we will leave without any issue. And if I prove that I myself am a threat, and the individuals I am with are a threat, then I think it would be better for the lot of you as well to just sort of carry on without any other problem. Yes?
Can Grodus make a look over with the two with the crossbows? Like, do they have that? We're gonna fucking just kill this idiot look, right? Can I make an insight on that?
Roll an insight check.
Can I also make an insight? Because I'm just
Sure.
half amused watching this, but also like, are they actually
21!
So, 21? There's definitely the idea that, like, yeah, we could. But there's part of them that just kind of want to see their friend kick the shit out of this brat.
Hey.
Okay,
oh,
no,
oh.
seeing that, Grodus is gonna just kind of give, like, this wave to the party to kind of say, like, it's an okay wave. It's like, oh, Master, are you certain about this? I mean, yeah, they look so tough and brutal. I mean, look at the size of that one. He's huge. Are you sure you'll be okay? Your parents would be devastated.
I message Grodus. I'm like, what the fuck's going on down there?
Apparently, he's trying to get him in a one-on-one fight. It's one way to take an idiot out.
A kind of like a flush of kind of humiliation comes to Julius's face at this, but he keeps his eyes on the guy in front of him and again just keeps his attention forward and kind of strains his shoulders despite it. It's just like, well, are you willing?
Kind of looks, turns, and he goes, "Oi, Roderick, pass me a shield." You hear the other guy like, "You sure? We could just fucking have fun." You kind of watch. He takes this like small shield, kind of rolls it over to the guy. He picks it up. The guy just looks, "I'm gonna break your nose, brat."
I'm gonna kill him.
Like to see you try.
Roll initiative.
Oh, fuck. I love that Julius is like, we can do this peacefully. Walked up, went, brah, one-on-one.
Also, Xavier, what were you saying earlier?
Oh no, he was just saying, just like.
Should
think
I roll
things are
too
going
just to
right.
stand
They're
out of the
not-
way, or is I just allowed to move out of the way?
It's not cold.
You're fine to move out of the way.
Grodus is just gonna walk over here. You know what? Grodus is just gonna casually walk over to the other two and kind of like take out like a piece of beef jerky and kind of watch and just kind of mumble to him, like, you know, to be honest, I don't mind if the master gets his ass kicked a little. Probably be good for him. Just kind of like try to be buddy with them
out here. But yeah, for the sake of it, so he did beat you on initiative for the first turn. So immediately he kind of like rushes forward. This heavy mace in hand. He makes 2 attacks around.
Okay.
Moonstone is just, if anyone could see him, just pinching the bridge of his nose and just shaking his head.
19 to 25!
I can't. I'm not near anybody else a whole lot, but Kessie. Oh no, I'm near Gallo, Xavier. I'm just sitting there. I've kind of got my sword like drawn. I just look back to you guys. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
So does a 19 hit you, Julius?
I thought things were going good.
That's my AC.
So that
Sure.
hits.
So you kind of like, he takes this heavy step forward, no hesitation to it, and as you start to raise his shield, you feel his shield arm hit into yours, and he just brings this like massive mace onto your shoulder, hitting you for 5. As you kind of like wince from that, you feel the armor start to buckle. He headbutts you once, takes it, and drops the mace just on the back of the head, dealing another 11 points of bludgeoning damage. There is a sickening crunch sound at the second hit of that, and Julius, you just get dazed from the second hit. It's your turn.
Right. So, fumbling on his feet from the impact of that hit, his face still very much flushed from just how everyone is treating him right now. And he's gonna sort of grit his teeth and go for a swing of his own.
Go for it. A 17 will hit. That's nice.
And he will add smite.
God.
Mike the Ho.
Grodus just nods approvingly.
Go for it. 17 hits.
So 11 plus 2d8. 18 damage.
18 damage, yeah, not bad. You kind of slam the blade to the side, and there's this kind of surprise to the weight and the impact that you carry. He kind of buckles for a moment. You just hear, bitch! And he swings twice again, unless you have a bonus action you want to throw.
Nope.
Okay. A 14 and 18.
Miss.
Both of those a miss. Kind of your shot clearly knocks him off his balance, knocks him off his game. He misses the 2 swings.
With the one attack that Julius had done on him, did it look like it did a good amount of damage on him, or does he seem like...
It looked like it barely pushed him to bloodied.
Barely pushing him bloodied?
Barely.
Okay. He'll go again then with another hit with the longsword.
Go for it. He catches that one.
I gotta roll for my experimental elixir, by the way.
Sure. That's AC again, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, he'll just keep lashing out at you with his multi-attack. 18 and 8. Yeah, it's just a stalemate right now. He's knocked off his balance, and you're kind of getting pushed back by just his assault. Your turn again.
While this is happening, I'm just gonna message everyone. Just be like, be ready to spring in the last 2 guys at any moment.
You said he's carrying a mace and a shield, right?
Yeah, it's this like heavy, brutal-looking mace, which is why I've rolled it as a Morning Star. And yeah, he's got a wooden and steel-centered shield. Fuck off, Rhythm. Play the goddamn music.
You do the server change that I told you about, Chris?
It's not even that. It's connecting. Like, that's not the issue. The issue is that it's not reading a YouTube video.
So, is it possible for me to bonus action Peerless Athlete and yank his weapon out of his hand?
It's athletics checks against it, and you have to drop something to do that.
I will drop my sword.
Okay.
Bonus action Peerless Athlete.
Okay.
And yank his mace out of his hand.
Okay, it's your athletics versus his.
All right, my advantage.
You have advantage. Yeah. He only got an 11.
Oh my god!
11, so nothing.
He holds it. He kind of like rips it from your grasp. He's gonna make 2 more swings on you.
Now you don't have a weapon.
Miss.
8 and 17. Yeah, you managed to keep him at bay.
He's gonna go for the weapon again.
Okay.
Who is echoing?
Oh,
Dylan!
That's Dylan. All right, yeah, you managed to pull the Morning Star out of his hands. It is pretty heavy, but yeah, I'll say you've managed to disarm him with your action.
All right. Does it take anything to either drop or throw a weapon, or?
You can drop it at your feet just as a free action. To throw it would be an action.
All right, I'll just hold on to it then, keeping my eyes on him.
Okay. You kind of... you watch as you pull it from his hand. He kind of looks to you, just... you watch him pull a dagger out.
I'm surprised he didn't pick up the sword on the ground.
Oh, yeah!
He dropped his shield. He dropped his shield.
You're right.
Too late, he took out his dagger.
No, he did drop the sword! Julius, call high or low. If you're wrong, he will pick up your sword. If you're right, he'll pull out his own dagger.
You're able to change your mind, damn it.
I hadn't committed to it yet. So you call it high or low.
High.
Okay. If you're correct, he goes for his dagger. If you're wrong, he goes for your longsword. That's a 19, so we'll still go for his dagger.
Sorry, I thought we were past that point.
Alright, it's an action to pick up a weapon, you said?
No, it's a free action to pick up a weapon, which is why he's
All
making
right.
2 attacks against you and stabbing you.
Okay. Miss.
23.
That hits.
He manages to get one past and just jam it into kind of like a low kidney stab.
Full damage, too. No, never mind. That was
Oh, no, 1 off.
Julius will chuck the mace away.
Okay. Okay, as a warning, that will be your action to do that.
I know.
Okay.
Oh, voice crack.
You throw the mace, roll an athletics check.
It just means you're in character. Nick.
Still an
Don't worry.
advantage.
18, yep. You throw it, we'll say about 20 feet. That was your action. You still have a
Behind
bonus
myself,
action.
by the way.
Okay, sure. Yeah, you throw it behind yourself. You have a bonus
Alright.
action and movement.
So I can pick up my sword, right?
Yes.
Alright, I pick up my sword.
Okay.
That is it for now.
Okay. He's going to try to stab you twice more. 10 and a 15.
Miss.
Okay, your turn again.
Attack with my longsword.
Go for it. Miss.
15. Okay.
He's going to stab twice.
Miss hit.
23. For a
Max
6 that
damage.
time. Stabbing through the shoulder and kind of
How many
breaking the chainmail.
do you have?
Yeah, I was about to ask, like, how is Julius looking?
He's alright. I
Are you past bloodied at this point?
am past bloodied at this point.
Okay.
Gonna message Julius and just be like, "Yeah, looking rough there. We're gonna end this now." Or...
No, he's gonna go for the sword.
Go for it.
Oh my god.
So 16 matches.
So it is.
Alright, he's gonna hit it, put another smite.
Okay.
Just burning through all your spell slots.
12. How do you want to do this?
Oh my god.
Julius, as he sees this guy coming towards him with the dagger, he yanks the dagger out of his hand, tossing it to the side, kicks him in the center of the chest, steps over him, and with the blunt edge of his sword, just smashes it against the side of this guy's head to knock him out.
All right, I'll allow it. You kind of slam it into the back of him. You watch as his head like hits the ground, and there's this clear like pool of blood kind of forming from a nosebleed. Grotus, you immediately watch the other 2 load crossbows.
I
I'm going
immediately
to-
take out my my warhammer and my
Hold
hand
on.
axe. Nope.
As that happens, Julius is gonna look over towards them and say, "There are a lot more of us rather than just us two. Do you really want to go through this trouble?"
Kind of think for a moment. You see their ally laying on the ground. For the sake of it, roll an intimidation.
They're just gonna shoot you. This-
So Go
18.
has his
Oh.
sitting at the ready. Ooh, nice.
They look to you, who did manage to beat one of them in like a head-on fight. They look to Grotus, who pulled out a decent-sized weapon.
Big ass
There's kind
warhammer.
Yeah. It's kind of this like in the air. Keep the crossbows loaded. You'll let him go.
Yes.
They kinda... You let us take him.
Yes.
You kind of watch as
Make sure they don't go back into the cave.
they slowly start like moving towards him. One of them's got his crossbow just traced on you right now, Grotus.
Yeah, that's fine.
Julius will take his foot off the chest of the unconscious man and take a step to the side, allowing them to pick him up.
Sure, you watch as one of them kind of picks him up. And the two of them, like, they just look to you like while one of them carries the friend, and they do start moving away. I actually selected Julius. They do start moving off to the side.
Holy shit.
Hey! And Julius will put his sword away, spit out blood on the dirt, and just give this glare over at Grotus and say, I'm not a child.
I never said you were. But good luck. Good job anyways.
How many hit points did you have left, Julius?
14.
Oof.
Out of.
Shouldn't have given you that level. With that, you watch as the men retreat, hoping to spare the life of their friend. There's a screaming child in the background. Most likely the man waking up, maybe? Who knows?
Xavier basically runs out of the foliage and just kind of runs over to Julius and kind of grabs both of his shoulders. Is like, "See, I told you were gonna do good." What?
Xavier!
He's not shouting, it's fine.
No,
Yes,
he
I
was
did
kind
do-
of shouting a little bit.
Julius kind of gives a bit of a grin, though there's definitely blood there.
Yeah, he just kind of wipes a little bit at it. It's just like on his face. It's just like, oh Jesus, he got you good on the. God damn! I don't remember you being a redhead.
Moonstone will climb down and walk over. You look like hail.
Got a bit of a headache, possibly a concussion. Sure, it's nothing. Oh, there's two of you.
Well, still. And you can see him go to his back pocket and he pulls out a mechanical-looking spider. And he puts it on top of your head and it starts spinning around you and creating sort of a bandage headband around you. And I'm casting Cure Wounds on you.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. If that's the description.
Why not?
Sure.
I think it's
Nothing,
cool.
don't worry about it.
I think it's cool looking.
Uh-huh.
What?
Nothing.
Just roll it, man.
Alright. You get 10 hit
Ooh.
points back.
That's actually pretty good.
And I guess, in addition, I'll use 6 points of lay on hands on myself.
Sure.
Well, that's
Cast
only part
X-
of it. I'm sure there's at least twice as many in the cave there we'll have to take care of, but good job there, Julius.
Yeah, that's
Oh wait, there's more.
bad at all. Kessex will take his whetstone, the same one that he used the goblin blood on, and he will actually run it through the blood that Julius spit into the ground, and then put it in his pocket.
Sure.
Odd, but alright.
In any case, I'd rather get moving quicker than later, guys, and Grotus is going to start moving towards the cave.
Oh, hold on.
We're moving now. I only got so much time on this.
Why don't I scan ahead as one of them?
Again, I don't like the idea. I think it's a retarded idea. If they say anything that you won't be able to answer, you'll be by yourself.
I'll be fine. I can move pretty quickly back out here if I need to. Also, you have no idea how easy it is to pretend to be someone else.
It isn't easy. Grotus is like,
Despite the strong wording, come on now. I don't think we gotta. I mean, well, actually, now that they're gone, I guess it wouldn't be a bad idea. Then again, I guess I'm no strategist. I don't know. It's up to you, y'all.
I don't even have to talk to anyone. I just have to take a look around.
you want to go in and risk it? Go ahead. But what are we going to do if you're stuck in there?
I'm not gonna get stuck.
I'll follow behind.
Moonstone, he got
But,
stuck and died.
It's actually gonna be more like a glitch. I just actually get caught in some geometry and just can't move.
Who the fuck just disappeared out of thin air? Am I?
What?
Never
Rhythm,
mind. I could have
rhythm's
sworn
gone.
there was.
Rhythm.
Yeah, right.
In any case, we better move forward. I'd rather get this going quicker than later, but if you want to disguise yourself as one of them, go ahead. But how are you going to tell us what you find?
I'll just go back to my watch as I put up air quotes.
Oy. Everybody else get ready. I have a feeling this could go sideways, but go ahead. See what you can do.
All right. And you see Moonstone pull out these big-looking glasses that have this really large rubber nose and eyebrows with a mustache that goes down. Like, he's like, all right, there we go.
Moonstone.
Oh, right. And he squeaks the nose, and you hear a little, and you can see his visage just turns into the guy who got the crap picked out of him.
Sure thing. Take on the look of a rather gruff human, maybe in his early 30s. Bit of scarring near the chin. Black hair. Dressed in all black. With leathers.
All right, I'll look.
Sure thing. So,
Like a person.
All right.
entering into the cave.
Also, I'm gonna wait. Is Gallo following behind or no?
If that's up to you guys.
I would suggest not, but if Drodus won't stop if you risk it.
He'll.
I'll go up this too.
No, he'll. All right.
I don't understand what the plan is. You're gonna go in and.
I'm gonna scout it
You're
out.
gonna- Oh, okay. In my head, you were going in and being like, "Oh, just taking the prisoner out for a walk."
Yeah, I'll just go taking him for a walk.
Yeah, give him some sunlight. Otherwise, this vitamin D ain't gonna last long. It's gonna be bad anyway.
God. Okay.
No, the mission is
also,
recon.
Okay.
Gallo looks like he wants to say something to Julius, but because it technically worked, he has to bite his tongue. So he just.
Yeah, no, it did work. I was
Those
surprised. Funny enough, I had a different paladin trying to do the exact same thing against basically the same guy, yet he had a slight buff because he had a drug on him. And he lost
Oh my God.
horribly. And I gotta admit, I was really hoping it would happen again.
Got your wish.
I was waiting for when he tossed the weapon out, the other two just shot him with crossbow bolts, saying, "Fuck this!" I was just like half
it
expecting
wasn't
it.
like
At first, I was like, "Oh, it'd be funny for him to get his kick shaken in," but then almost everyone was against. I was like, "No, I want him to win."
no, yeah, you did. You did. No fudge rolls, nothing. You did it.
Yep.
Yeah,
Emphasis on
Gallo was
all.
just like
Yes,
He
emphasis on
just-
almost.
almost.
No, you still had like half your hit points.
Xavier is the one person in your corner.
Yeah.
I mean,
You got some
Gallo
pretty nice
wasn't.
rolls too.
He was
so-
neutral. He just like he saw it.
Exactly.
And he's just like, all
Guess
right.
what? That's not a corner. That's a fence. You were
It's a,
sitting.
I was on the
To-
fence.
to be
Ride
fair-
or
Yeah.
die.
Anyway,
Yeah. Anyways, guys, let's get on. Yeah.
I was about to clap in the mic, and nobody likes that. So, Moonstone. Heading into the path, and Gallo, are you going to follow? The choice is yours. Risk and
I
reward
am
and both.
not going to follow.
Sure thing.
But I am going to hide, just
Just
in
by
case.
the entrance?
Yeah, just by the entrance. So, like, if in the case that if anybody does come out when he if he gets caught and starts running out, he won't be the first one.
For sure. So, Moonstone. Following this path, you find it longer than you expected. Entering into the cave, it immediately shows examples of worked stone that go further and further from the point in which you entered. As you walk, you begin to realize that the path may be quite long. As you go 5 minutes, 10
do I
minutes, however long you want to go.
go? Say that again. You kind of cut out there for a second.
You went 5 minutes in, continuously walking in this dark worked stone passageway made in the shape of an arc. 10 minutes, still continuing. Feel free
I'll
to stop
go-
me.
I'll keep going for at least. If I get to a half an hour point,
Okay,
I'll start turning back. But I am going to keep my eye out for any like traps or anything like that might be around.
for sure. Sake of it, roll an investigation check.
All right. 21.
21. No traps that you can see. Seemingly the only, perhaps, safekeeping they had was those guards out front.
And I'm walking with like a confidence of like kind of like the demeanor I imagine this guy walking, but like comfortable and confident
Sure,
that I should be there.
casually. So you're whistling as you do it.
Yeah, kind of.
So, as you go, it does take about 25 minutes before before finally you see the arch, you see the pathway start to raise into stairs and a light at the top, where you can clearly hear sounds from the other side. Seemingly of that of food, of smells coming through the door, finding their way to you. Drinks as well can be smelt. And for the most part, people are enjoying a early drink, it seems. Do you go to the door?
I go to the door.
Sure. Heading to the door, are you going to enter, or are you going to eavesdrop, or something else?
Just looking around me, there's no one around here, right?
There is the stairway, and then there is the door, and the door is closed. You can see light underneath it. No one around you, though.
I will walk in.
Okay. Entering in, you are immediately graced with what looks to be a kitchen of some sort. Looking to the floor below you, it seems that this is a well-worn kind of wooden structure, and looking directly in front of you, you see 4 other individuals, 2 of which are currently eating meals that seem to be made mostly of simple kind of gruel and oatmeal, though each of them drinking what you would assume to be an alcoholic beverage of some kind. The smells of cinnamon can easily be smelt in the air. As you kind of look around within this dining area, you notice 2 other men that seem to be finishing whatever they were eating and, for the most part, kind of putting stuff away. As you kind of enter in, one of the men kind of look up to you, and you see he's a half-elven man of decent age, kind of older, probably about maybe in his 40s, 50s by human years. Dressed in, yeah, like I said, different gear. And as you kind of look to it, you notice a few similarities. While it is not the same tar black gear that you're wearing, it is decent clothes underneath leathers. On the side of the leathers, a twisting red horn. And that's where we'll end for this session.
Ah!
Guys, I told y'all. I don't know fucking.